Live from the CSI Baseball Complex on the campus of the College of Staten Island, CSI Sportsnet brings you NCAA baseball action, not softball action, live on the ECC network. Today's matchup features the Bloomfield College Bears taking on the College of Staten Island Dolphins. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nicholas Pavona, joined at the moment for now by my broadcast partner, Sam Whalen. Sam, you get your second look this season at this CSI team. They're coming off a 3-game losing streak after losing their last 3 games to Malloy this past weekend, but they do get a conference win in the year so far. Now they face a Bloomfield College team who hasn't won a game yet this season, but this is a game that you have to believe the Dolphins really need considering they go back into conference play this upcoming weekend.
I would absolutely consider this a must-win game for the Dolphins. The Bloomfield Bears are 0-13 to start the season, and let's focus on their team pitching for a second. The Bloomfield Bears pitching has a 16 cumulative ERA, and that means they are averaging 16 runs per 9 innings. That is not very good.
Yeah, I think, if you're Bloomfield coming into this game, it's not easy seeing that O mark in your win column this year. But if you look at the previous history between these two teams, Sam, there was a good chance that Bloomfield couldn't come out on top with the victory. The Dolphins are 3-10 in their career history against this Bloomfield team. The last time they played was back in 2023. Bloomfield won that game by the final of 1-0. So it seems that maybe things have changed in those 2 years since these last two, the last time these two teams played. But you never know on any given, day of the week when you have a game like this.
It's certainly something to think about, especially the mental aspect. When a team has lost 13 games in a row, they are so hungry for that first win. So maybe they show out, especially today.
Now, at the moment, Sam, we're also going to have one camera view as that one is hit down the third base line and foul. We are awaiting our second camera.
I believe it was called fair.
It was called fair. You're right. Excuse me. That's going to be a leadoff double for Maldonado as he thought about going to third base. He will take the wide turn and stay at second. So apologies for that. We are still just getting underway here at the baseball complex, but a leadoff double by Elder Maldonado gets us going here on the first pitch of the game.
And Maldonado is one of the only bright spots in this Bloomfield lineup. He's hitting .313 this season, while every other Bloomfield hitter is hitting below .240.
That'll bring up Sean Jackson Jr., the catcher. An early RBI opportunity here for Bloomfield. A big swing and a miss might have been a fouled ball on that one.
I do believe it was fouled off.
On the mound today for the Dolphins is Gerard Santos.
Dolphins are looking for a good start from Santos. He hasn't started off too hot in the season, but you never know when a pitcher can turn it around. Sometimes all it takes is one start to lock things in.
That one hit towards first. Vigliotti will step on the bag for the first out of the inning. And that will allow Maldonado to go into third. So a very productive outer right there from Bloomfield, and they now have a chance to bring home that runner from third base.
Santos looked like he jammed him there. Jackson kind of just fought that one off, and it chopped right to the first baseman for an easy out.
So one away in the inning. That brings up Andres Frias. And he swings on the first pitch, hits that one to third. Satara almost got the tag on the runner at third, and he will make the throw onto first base in time. And a nice heads-up play by the Dolphin third baseman, and now there's 2 away in the inning.
Definitely a good heads-up play. Almost tagged the runner out there.
And if you look also, the Dolphins on that play, Sam, had the infield in. And that's the big reason why Zatara was almost able to get that tag at third base. And made a nice job to throw it to first. That's a first pitch swing, hit to short. Going to be a tough throw to first base, and it's offline. And that will allow the first run of this game to score.
It was looking up for the Dolphins there. They made quick work of the next 2 batters, but an unfortunate timing for an error there. As that throw sails.
That'll go down as
right
an
over.
E6 for Flashner on that play. And Bloomfield is on the board first, 1-0.
That'll be Flashner's 9th error of the season. He leads the team currently.
And that's been, unfortunately, a bad stat for the Dolphins this year, Sam. They have really struggled in terms of team defense. We saw that back on the Dolphins game on Sunday against Malloy. One of the bigger reasons why they lost that game was due to their team's defense early in that one. And a costly error right there allows Bloomfield to go on the board first.
Something else to look at is the Bloomfield runners this season have had 4 pickoffs.
Count quickly is 2-0 here.
As there is an attempt, it's close, but not quite.
Franny Medina, the batter at the plate. The previous batter that got the run in was Sarah. That was Frank Sarah that got the ground ball to short. And we'll see another ground ball to short. And Flasher will go the quick way towards second, and that will retire the side. So Bloomfield does get a hit in the inning, but they also get a run via the error at short. We now head into the home half of the first inning. The Dolphins come to bat for the first time in this game as they trail 1-0. And we are back for the home first here at the CSI Baseball Complex. It is an early 1-0 lead for Bloomfield, as Bloomfield got a hit and an error in that inning via the error at short, giving them their first run of this game. And now the Dolphins come to bat for the first time here today, as it will be Jack Keogh leading it off for CSI.
Starting this game for Bloomfield will be Michael Filomero.
First pitch swinging from Keogh. He hits that one into center field, but playable. And making the catch out in center field was Frias, and there's quickly one away on one pitch.
Well, the first pitch out, it's exactly what you want if you're a pitcher, especially Filomero, who has not had the greatest season so far. This is his third start, and he has a 15.43 ERA.
Well, I think if you ask any of these starters in this rotation, they could tell you that it's not been a pretty sight so far for Bloomfield. But a lot could be changed here today if they're able to come out on top with the victory.
Certainly. Sometimes all it takes is one start to lock it in.
As Chris Palomini takes the first pitch strike, quickly the count 0-1.
Palomini hitting .315 this season with 4 homers. He is OPSing .913. That is a very strong number.
Palomini doing the brunt of those home run work this past weekend against Malloy. Had one here at the baseball complex that hit another against Malloy in the second game of that doubleheader on Saturday.
Yeah, unfortunately, CSI is coming off 3 straight losses from Malloy. Hoping to turn it around here against Bloomfield, as there is something blowing around on the field maybe in left field.
There's a bit of a windy day. Not as bad as it was this past weekend. It looks like it was a baseball. So baseball in left field, and that will allow us to resume play. Palomini quickly in a 2-strike count here. Falomero will get the sight. And here comes the 0-2. And it looks like he just missed on that outside corner, and it's down 1-2.
That might dictate this game. We saw the last game I was at. Pitcher's really biting the corners on the outside, and it looks like the umpire's not giving it to him right away here.
We'll see how long that will go on in this game. Here comes the 1-2. And a breaking ball just hit foul behind the plate.
Palomini really sat on that one, just missed it. Looked like might have hung in there. So if he throws that again, might be able to see Palomini do some damage.
Looked like he might have been expecting the fastball once again on that pitch, but was just able to make contact on that off-speed pitch right there. And here comes another 1-2. And it misses high for ball 2, evening the count at 2-2. Dolphin lineup, we saw Jack Keogh lead off. He's in right field. Palomini batting second and in center. Following him is the first baseman, A.J. Vigliotti. I'll read the rest of the lineup after this next pitch. Here comes the 2-2. And that misses on the outside for ball 3. So Palomini now has worked himself back into a full count here, 3-2 after starting the count 0-2.
And you love to see Palomini get on base here. He is 4 for 6 in his stolen base attempts this season.
As you and I mentioned the last time you were on broadcast, broke the single season record for stolen bases in the season as he hits that one foul once again.
Yep, it's very impressive. He went 28 for 28 last season, something that I could only dream of.
Now, Sam, you didn't drive here today, did you?
Certainly not.
Okay, good. As Joe Foreman and I usually say, if you are arriving here via vehicle, make sure you do not park in the front row at the parking lot. You're asking for an accident, as there is a strikeout on that off-speed pitch from Falomero, and there is now 2 away.
Yep, every ball that's getting hit out of bounds, I'm looking at the parking lot, and I think one might have already hit a car.
Oh, no. You know, the many years I've been doing these broadcasts, there's been plenty of times where we've warned the spectators to, make sure you can find some parking that is avoidable of a foul ball hit. And unfortunately, sometimes some people have to, find a spot quickly as possible, and they get into that foul ball territory. And I guess that happened. Hopefully, no, really bad damage was involved on any of those foul balls hit so far in this game. There's still another 8 innings after this half inning is over. The 1-0 to Vigliotti misses on the outside. He's quickly up 2-0 in the count.
Vigliotti up 2-0. He is walking at a very good rate this season. He has 12 walks, hitting .306 with 1 home run and 17 RBIs.
Here comes the 2-0. He takes that one for a strike now, 2-1 to count. After Vigliotti, the lineup follows for the Dolphins. Batting 4th is the designated hitter, J.J. Hunter. Batting 5th is the left fielder, Jaden Waterman. Batting 6th and behind the plate is Yandel Brito. Batting 7th and at 2nd is T.J. Leno. Batting 8th and at 3rd is Anthony Cetera. And batting 9th and at short is Michael Flashner, as that pitch is in there for a strike, and the count evens to 2.
Looked like Vigliotti didn't really like that one, but I think that's going to get called pretty frequently this game.
She mentioned expect a lot of those fastballs on the outside corner for these pitchers so far in this game. That's what Falomero has been saying so far. Here comes the 2-2. Off-speed pitch, and it looks like he just missed it for ball 3.
And it sounded like the Bloomfield dugout was expecting a strike 3 call there. Just didn't quite get it.
So second straight at bat. It's a full count at 3-2. We'll see if Falomero goes back to that off-speed pitch. He went with the breaking ball on 2-2, and it looks like he missed it on the inside. Big gap in right center field. That's where Vigliotti usually likes to pull as well. Here comes the 3-2. And it misses low and outside for ball 4.
It's a nice at-bat there worked by Vigliotti. We'll see if he tries to steal for his second steal of the season.
Sam, I would be stunned if he steals. But stranger things have happened. I would be very stunned if he does try to steal second base at any point in this at-bat. As J.J. Hunter, the Dolphins' designated hitter, now comes up with 2 away and a runner on first.
And Hunter here is hitting .222 in 45 at-bats this season.
He gets an off-speed pitch, and it looks like he just missed again for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, I think maybe might have missed a little bit high, but It looked pretty similar to the pitch that Vigliotti received that he didn't like too much. So we'll see if there's some consistency there for the rest of this game.
Vigliotti is going, and he will get the stolen base. It's off the glove of the catcher, and I can't believe it, Sam, but you called it. Vigliotti is into second with a stolen base.
Well, you know what they say? How can you not be romantic about baseball?
I am absolutely stunned. I'm not stunned often here calling these games, but you hit it right there on the noggin. Vigliotti going on that 1-0 pitch, and he's now into second. The 2-0 is hit into left. Going to be a long run. Could be trouble, and that will be caught in left field, and that will retire the side. Jones makes the catch out in left field, and that will do it for the Dolphins here in the home first inning. So CSI does get a runner on the scoring position, but are not able to bring home the runner from second. We head to the top of the second inning. Bloomfield leads this one 1-0. Malachi Jones, who made that catch out in left field in the previous half inning, will lead it off here in the top of the second as he takes the first pitch inside for a ball, 1-0 the count.
Jones is currently hitting .226 this season. This is actually one of the higher numbers in this Bloomfield lineup.
That one misses for a ball, count now 2-0. During our break, Sam, I was trying to figure out if A.J. Vigliotti, you mentioned he got a stolen base already this season. So that one's hit foul behind the plate. I was trying to see if the last time you called the game, which I believe was March 7th, if he got a stolen base in that game as well. I'm not seeing it at the moment, but it's possible. It might not have been that game.
It was probably a different game. I think I might be confusing him with someone else.
Here comes the 2-2. Jones will hit that one foul behind the plate.
Not into the parking lot, but still got to look out.
Well, I don't think softball's practicing anymore. They might be. No, they're done. I just saw a couple players in the stands today. So say that's going towards the softball complex. As Jones has to back out of the way on that one, and the count now goes full at 3-2.
Santos has done a good job so far of pitching to contact. This is a team you want to do that with, especially hitting with such low average.
And that one misses on the outside for ball 4. So a good at bat right there from Malachi Jones, and he works the leadoff walk.
Definitely not what you want there, a leadoff walk.
I'll bring up Jordan Pert now. We'll see maybe he tries to lay down a bunt in this spot. Getting the start in right field today for Bloomfield.
Malachi Jones is 2 for 2 this season with stolen bases.
No bunt shown there as there's a first pitch strike 0-1.
Pert is hitting .167 with 1 home run. I tried to look up if there's any relation there to the Rush drummer.
Okay.
The late, great Neil Pert. I don't believe so.
I don't think so either, but you never know. That one is hit into right. Long run for Keogh. That will go over his head and take a one bounce off the wall. Keogh will throw it into the cutoff man, Leno. That will hold both runners at their respective bases. It's a double right there for Jordan Pert. An early danger here in the second inning for the Dolphins. It's now second and third, still nobody out.
That was a great piece of hitting there by Pert. It looked like he kind of swatted it and took it the other way where the wind is blowing, and it just went right over Keogh's head.
It was a very long run for Keogh right there, and he was not able to make the play. And now, early danger for CSI, already trailing by a run in this game. And now second and third, still nobody out. The Dolphins will bring the infield in, as Charles Anderson is the batter here for Bloomfield.
Anderson is currently hitting 154 this season.
An already big spot in this game. Base hit could bring home 2 runs. As there's a first pitch swing and a miss for a strike, 0-1 the count.
Anderson was early on that one, and it looked like it might be a fastball. So maybe he doesn't have his timing down, which is one of the main things a batter needs.
Dolphins really needed an out right here, especially for Santos as well. You really use some confidence after that double given up. That one's low in the dirt, but Brito was able to keep it around home plate and avoid that runner from coming in from third as the count evens at 1.
Brito, 6 errors on the season, but it is not all his fault. A lot of the pitching from CSI has been wild. A lot of wild pitches this season.
Brito has improved his defense these last couple of games as well. Another big swing and a miss, and you mentioned it earlier on the first pitch. It looked like Anderson once again was early on that one, fooled by that breaking ball, and it's now 1-2.
I've been in that box before, and let me tell you, sometimes you just don't have your timing on certain days, and it looks like maybe Anderson's trying to get a grip for that right now.
Big 1-2 pitch here for Santos. Could really use a strikeout to get this first out of the inning. Here comes the 1-2. That one is hit in the air, in shallow right center. Could be a tough play, but Keogh was able to track it in and make the catch. And that will also hold the runner at third for the first out of the inning.
That's a great ranging play by Keogh and right. Thought for a second maybe it would drop as we saw the second baseman, Leno, sprinting straight backward. But Keogh, great range, makes the play.
Yeah, Leno, as you mentioned, had to go over the shoulder to try to track that one down. But thankfully for the Dolphins, they were still a little bit in towards the outfield. That was just enough for Keogh to make that catch. And a big out number 1 for the Dolphins there now brings up the shortstop, Joseph Klein. And that one in the dirt for a ball, 1-0 the count.
Joseph Klein is hitting .083 on the season for Bloomfield.
This is a big spot as well, Sam, because after Klein is back to the top of the lineup for the Bears. So if Klein is able to get on, gives Maldonado, who already has a hit in this game, a chance.
Yep, and Maldonado, probably the scariest hitter you're going to see in this Bloomfield lineup.
Count now even at 1-1 after that strike right there from Santos. Dolphin infield remains in here on this play. Here comes the 1-1. Misses low for a ball. Off the glove of Brito. That will allow a run to score. Jones will score from third. That will allow Pert to go into third as well from second. And it's now 2-0 Bears.
Just from where that ball ended up, where it crossed the plate, or lack thereof, rather, I think that's going to be a pass ball for Brito.
They might count that as a wild pitch, Sam. That was a little bit low. So it would have been a tough play for Brito to even make the catch. A low throw from Santos now allows a second run in. It's now 2-1. That one is hit into left center field by Klein, and that will drop in for a base hit. Waterman will throw it towards home, and it'll be cut off and not in time. RBI single for Joseph Klein brings home Pert, and it's now a 3-0 lead for the Bears.
Well, that's just brutal for CSI, who started off pretty strong and, just a couple mistakes, and all of a sudden it's 3-0.
It has been mistakes that has really hurt the Dolphins all season, Sam, and another big hit right there, especially with the infield in, now makes it a 3-0 lead for the Bears in this one. Pickoff attempt at first, and Klein is out. A nice throw from Santos, and just like that, there's now 2 away.
That's a beautiful pickoff from Santos there, and that will be the 5th picked off runner from the Bloomfield Bears.
A very costly one right there for Bloomfield. Klein does get the big hit, but he also does get it out right there. Now, nobody on two away for Elder Maldonado, who, as we mentioned, already has a single in this game.
Maldonado has 7 walks so far on the season. He's got a good eye.
He takes that one on the outside for a ball now, 2-1 the count.
Not so much of a risk to steal. He has 0 attempts on the season.
He now is up in the count 3-1. So Santos, after getting that second out via the pickoff, now in danger of walking a batter right here with 2 away. Here comes the 3-1. And it misses on the outside corner for ball 4.
There is an argument to be made that if there's anyone you want to pitch around in this Bloomfield lineup, it is Maldonado.
Bring up Sean Jackson Jr. now with 2 away.
Jackson Jr. can be a menace when he gets on base. He's 7 for 7 this season on stolen bases.
Don't really expect that out of the catcher's spot either. You don't really see a catcher getting that many stolen bases, and especially doing it at that efficient rate. And he's quickly up in the count 1-0 with Santos. It looks like Sam in the last couple of pitches has lost his command. Let's see what he does here at 1-0. That one hit down the third base line, but foul.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty good pitch. Looked like probably be a strike either way, whether he swung at that one or not. So we'll see what the next pitch has in store.
Well, for Santos, would love to minimize the damage here, keep it a 3-run game, and see if the CSI bats can do something in the home half of the second. That one hit foul, and that one right into the parking lot. So hopefully no groans, and, hopefully everything's all right in the parking lot. Let's just keep it at that. I always get worried when a foul ball gets hit that way.
Couldn't quite see where that one landed.
We actually had a foul ball hit a camera in one of our games this past weekend as well against Malloy. Kind of a weird angle it took. And that's the camera we're going to be using once Joe Foreman arrives here for our pitcher-batter cam. And I'm stunned it's still working. I'll tell you that, Sam. I am stunned it is still working for a lot of reasons. And somehow, someway, I don't know how he did it, but Jackson is able to foul off that pitch in the dirt and keep this bat going at 2-2.
He really just reached his bat out and just let it hit the ball there. No intent to even get a hit, just staying alive in the count here.
So we'll do it again on 2-2 here. Still 2 outs in the inning. Maldonado at first base for the Bears. Here comes the 2-2. And it misses low for ball 3. Cal now full at 3-2. This will allow Maldonado to get a head start.
Well, what you want to do here if you're Santos is certainly not walk Jackson Jr.
Big pitch here for Santos early in this game. Here comes the 3-2. That one is hit a mile high in the air. Is it playable? And it's out of play behind the plate.
Almost playable, but it looked like Brito might not get to it regardless. Just bounced off the net. Thankfully not in the parking lot this time.
Oh, of course. So we'll do it again here, 3-2. As Maldonado once again will get a head start on this next upcoming pitch. There goes Maldonado, 3-2. Hit towards third and under the glove of Satara for a base hit. Maldonado was going to stay at second, but a blooper in left will allow now both runners to advance a base. Another mistake for CSI in this game, Sam, as Waterman was trying to make the play in left and look towards the runner going from second to third. And in the process of that happening, it allowed both runners to advance because it went off of his glove.
Yeah, it looked like maybe he just changed his focus a little bit too soon there, like you see on so many double play attempts when there's a bobble. Same kind of thing. He changed his focus and lost track of the ball there for a second.
So after getting that second out via the pickoff, things have now unraveled for Santos once again in this inning. It's now second and third, still 2 outs. But now the second error of this game for CSI allows both runners to move into scoring position. As that one's in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. as the batter Andres Frias is at the plate.
Frias hitting .267 with 1 home run here this season.
That Bloomfield dugout is very lively right now. Would love a big hit right here to extend this lead. That one is hit into left center. Long run for Waterman and Palomini. Palomini will make the over-the-shoulder catch and will retire the side. A big sigh of relief for CSI in this second inning, but not before the Bears come around for 2 runs in this top of the second. We head to the home half of the second inning. Bloomfield now leads this one 3-0. Jaden Waterman will lead it off here in the home second, and it's now a 3-0 lead for Bloomfield in this game, Sam, as the Dolphins are looking for their first hit of this game. Try to get back down from 3 runs.
Things certainly are not looking great, but the sun just came out, and
That is
Jaden
true.
Waterman is hitting .309 this season.
Waterman has been red hot at the plate these last couple games, especially this past weekend against Malloy. Batting 5th in the lineup today, out in left field.
Sounds like just the batter you want if you're about to start a rally.
The 1-0. In there for a strike now, 1-1. Filomero finished that first inning with 18 pitches thrown. After 2 innings of work for Gerard Santos, he's thrown 40 pitches, so Santos has worked himself into a little bit of trouble. The Dolphins do have a pitcher warming up in their bullpen as we speak. But it is tough to see from here who that is with the black jerseys on today.
Trying to make out the number. Looks like something 2.
Here comes the 2-1. Waterman will hit this one towards second. And the throw on to first base is in time by the second baseman Maldonado, and there's now 1 away.
Well, Waterman almost got it up the middle, put good contact on it, but the second baseman was just in range.
Bring up Yandel Brito now with 1 away in the inning.
Brito is hitting .235 and 34 at-bats. Something interesting to watch, he has 5 hit-by pitches this season, the most on the team.
I'm sure every single one of those has stung at some point in the games that he's played so far this season.
Well, they certainly don't feel good.
No. How about that breaking ball from Merrill right there. Beautiful one. And it's only 0-1.
Looks like he froze him a little bit. Thought it was going to be a ball and just took the bat right out of his hand and didn't even try and swing at that one.
Took a nice break on the inside. As you mentioned, Brito was frozen on that one. The 0-1. Misses low and outside for a ball, 1-1 to count.
We'll see if Felomero can keep up this pace. He's pitching quite a good game right now.
Still early in this game for the Dolphins to get back. A lot of baseball left to be played here at the baseball complex. As it looked like once again, Brito was fooled by that off-speed pitch and just got a piece of it. And it's now 1-2.
You got to wonder how maybe seeing the ball. Oh, as there's Joe Foreman.
Joe Foreman just arrived, so he'll be joining us on the broadcast in just a little bit.
How seeing the ball might change a little bit for the batter, especially coming through those shadows right in front of home plate with the sun out.
He didn't miss much of this game. But with the sun out now, as you mentioned, we'll see if that plays a factor for these teams in terms of fielding. As it just misses on the outside corner for a ball, and the count now evens to 2.
I've certainly seen before when there are shadows in between the hand of the pitcher and home plate, and there's some inconsistency there. It can make it a lot harder to pick up what kind of pitch is being thrown or where it's going to end up.
I have a point about that in just a moment. I'll make it in a second. The 2-2 is swung on a miss for strike 3. Felomero's fastball got past Brito, and there's now 2 away. Now, the point I was going to make, Sam, is going into the games that we had against Malloy on Friday and Sunday, Friday was a different aspect in terms of that we had fog here. So that played a factor in terms of fielding for the fielders in that game. On Sunday, it was very sunny, so it also played a factor into that game as well for the Dolphins. So the aspects of the field, depending on whether it's sun or rain, could definitely play into these games so far this season. That first pitch misses on the outside corner for a ball, 1-0 the count. As TJ Lano is the batter for CSI here.
And Lano hitting just 186, but he has 22 walks to 20 strikeouts.
Lano had a good start to the season, but has got a little bit of a cold streak as of late. But the Dolphins know that he has the capability to hit a home run if necessary as well this season, as the count now evens at 1.
And Lano, in the game that I previously was on the broadcast for, I believe went 3 for 4 or 3 for 5.
I believe you are right. As the count now goes to 2-1, that one missed on the outside and high.
And he's going to show off his great eye here. He's not going to swing at those pitches that are off the plate.
The 2-1 in their first strike now. The count evens at 2.
Now he's got to fight it off, but he is still very selective. We'll see if he can work full count here.
Dolphins have gotten a base runner in this game via the walk from Vigliotti. But still looking for their first hit. Here comes now the 2-2 for Felomero. That breaking ball on the inside, hit down the third base line, but just out of reach and foul.
My goodness, what an attempt there by Jones.
Well, that was Anderson that was trying to make that play and down the third base line. He almost went over the entire fencing.
Oh, you're right. I saw the 7.
Jones is in left field, though.
Thought maybe there was a 2 in front of it. But, yeah, he jumped over the fencing as if he was catching a ball in the outfield with a short fence or something.
We'll do it again here. 2-2 for Lano. The Dolphins trying to extend the inning and get some 2-out magic. Breaking ball misses low for ball 3. So Lano now has worked the count full at 3-2.
See what he can do here on the money pitch. That was a great take on the pitch before.
If he's able to get on, I'll bring up Anthony Sotero on deck. Here comes Folomero's 3-2 pitch. And it misses low for ball 4. So Lano works the walk here with 2 away. And I'll bring up Anthony Sotero now.
And there's the 23rd walk of the season for Lano. Here comes Sotero. He's hitting 156 on the season with 32 at-bats.
If Sotero is able to get on, he would bring in the tying run up on deck and Michael Flashner. Throw to first base from Felomero misses as Lano's back in safely. Another pickoff attempt goes past the first baseman. Lena will go into second with ease. So a costly error right there, Sam, will now put the Dolphins with a runner in scoring position with now 2 away in this inning.
Certainly, it's going to go both ways in this game. The Bloomfield Bears are a team with 38 errors in 13 games. And that's one that puts a runner in scoring position. So definitely not what you want to see there for the Bloomfield Bears. Great for the Dolphins.
Absolutely great for the CSI. And for those as well watching at home, we have our pitcher-batter camera as well. So we'll be with that angle for the rest of this game. At least I hope it's the rest of this game, as that one was at foul.
That one narrowly avoided a car just in between 2 cars. I saw it land.
Yeah, if I'm someone right now in the first row, I'm probably moving my cars. At least if you're here, I would move my car instantly. Don't want to wait. As it misses on the outside for a ball now, 1-1 to count.
Tried to go outside with what looked like maybe a slider or a curveball there and just missed.
Felomero looks towards second. The 1-1. Breaking ball misses high for ball 2.
And he's trying to nibble there. It's just high again. Looked like a good pitch, but just not close enough.
The 2-1. Satara will hit this one into center, but it looks to be playable out in center field, and the catch is made by the center fielder Frias, and that will retire the side. Dolphins will strand a runner in scoring position here in the home second. We head to the top of the third. Bloomfield leads this one 3-0. All right, we are back here for the top of the third here at the CSI Baseball Complex. We were attending to a technical issue as well as trying to swap our laptops. And we are now back here for this top of the third. A runner is on first base here with 1 away.
If you missed it, there was a strikeout in the first at-bat. A little bit of a contentious stare from pitcher Salmonese after a couple calls didn't go his way, but he got the strikeout, and the next at-bat walked the batter.
As you mentioned, Anthony Salmonese is the new pitcher for the Dolphins here in the third inning. So a quick day for Gerard Santos.
Santos pitched 2 innings, 40 pitches, and a 9 ERA. Subsequently was pulled. 2 walks, 0 strikeouts.
That one low for ball 4. The runner was going on that pitch. So no stolen base. It is a walk issued by Salmonese to the batter Malachi Jones. And it's now first and second with still 1 out in the inning.
That'll be the second walk in a row here from Salmonese. On the season, he has a 6 ERA in 6 innings pitched with 3 walks. He just added 2 to that, so that'll be 5 walks on the season. 8 hits allowed.
A low pitch in the dirt for a strike. The count goes to 0-1 to Jordan Pert. He had a double his first time up in this game.
Pert looked fooled on that swing.
Do not think he was expecting a breaking ball on that first pitch of the at-bat. Salmonese gets a good look towards second. Here comes the 0-1. And again on the outside corner, it looked like maybe another breaking ball from Salmonese. And again, Pert looked fool on that one, and it's 0-2.
Well, if it works twice, see if they go back to it for a third time or if Pert is on it now. He hasn't looked great on those swings, though.
There's a pitcher's count here at 0-2, so we'll see if Salmonese tries to make him chase on this next upcoming one. Here comes the 0-2. And again in the dirt for strike 3. Brito will have to throw it towards a base, and he will throw it towards second, and the Dolphins don't record the out. Well, they will get the out at first, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It looks like...
I don't think the runner can advance to first base on that throw, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, because
and
there
he can't.
were 2 batters ahead of him.
That's what I figured at first.
So that's a good heads-up play by Brito there to throw to second, and almost got him. The tag maybe just missed. Looked like the throw might have beat him.
I think he missed that by just a second. But the reason that the Dolphins do get that out is because you can't run towards first base with the runner already at first on that spot.
That is correct.
On a pitch in the dirt. So the Dolphins do record the second out. It's now up to Anderson here with 2 gone in the inning with second and third. Anderson so far 0 for 1 in the day. Bloomfield already with a 3-0 lead, looking to extend that lead.
And wow, that one was called a strike, but Anderson jumped completely out of the way. So see if maybe the Dolphins got a call there.
Taking our scoreboard off for just a moment, trying to tend to another issue as well. We'll fix that during our next break. It's now an 0-2 count here for Salmonese. A chance to get out of the inning. In the dirt, did the batter go? He did. Brito has to throw to first base in time. Vigliotti had to go off the bag, and that will cost the Dolphins another run.
Oh, no.
Brito went to make the throw towards first base, and Vigliotti had to come off the bag, and because of that, it allowed a run to score.
Yeah, it looked like Vigliotti's foot just came off a little bit too soon there.
It was a wide throw from Brito, but the reason I think he had to make that throw the way he did was because he didn't want to hit the runner going down the first base line. And because of that happening, it allowed the run to score.
Yeah, it's good heads-up base running for sure.
Here's a second look at that play. That's just another bad sequence for CSI. They're now third error of this game. And Sam, we are only in the third inning. It has been a rough start defensively for the Dolphins in this one.
Definitely has, and errors, as we've said, have been a problem for the Dolphins this season. That'll be 50 errors on the season in now 26 games.
It just continues to spring on for CSI so far this year. They really need to fix these issues, and especially, as I mentioned earlier, that they are going back into conference play this upcoming weekend against Queens. That one hit foul behind the plate, and the count now goes to 2-1.
If you're the CSI Dolphins defense here, I've seen the outfielders getting a little bit anxious here, starting to do some drills in the outfield. Sometimes these long innings can be detrimental. There's another inside strike call. Looks like the Dolphins are successfully nibbling at the inside corner. If you're the Bears, you just want to put the ball in play now.
That one low in the dirt for ball 3. And another dangerous pitch upcoming here, Sam. Full count 3-2. Both runners will have a head start, with Bloomfield having first and second, 2 gone.
Klein, of course, had the RBI hit. See if he can replicate that here.
And he will now have a chance as he goes down swinging, and a huge strikeout recorded by the Dolphins will retire the side. But another costly error for CSI in this game will allow another run to score for Bloomfield. As we now head to the home third, it is now a 4-0 lead for the Bloomfield College Bears. And we are back for the home third here at the CSI Baseball Complex. It is now a 4-0 lead for Bloomfield in this game. As the first pitch is low for a ball, 1-0 the count.
Here's Michael Flashner. He is hitting .309 on the season with 1 home run and 10 walks. Can steal a base or two if he gets on.
Another breaking ball in there for a strike now, evens the count at 1. Dolphins will have 9-1-2 up in the inning. As you mentioned, Michael Flashner leads it off, followed by Jack Keogh, and then Chris Palomini batting third. As I mentioned earlier, Dolphins still in search of their first hit of this game. That one's hit fouled down the third base line. Count goes to 1-2.
Well, another chance to start a rally here. Flashner, as we said, hitting .309 and can steal. If you get him on, start moving those runners, passing the baton, you never know what can happen.
And there was a spot to do it as well, considering the top of the lineup is right up after you. Dolphins would love to have Flashner get on here to lead off this third inning. Here comes the 1-2. And that one hit foul, and just a few inches away from going over the batter's box behind the plate.
I did not flinch, but it was
glad you
close.
didn't. I'm glad you didn't. When you're at softball, it's a little bit more of an, you might flinch maybe once or twice, but we always made it a case to make sure people don't flinch on certain situations like that. As the Dolphins will get their first hit of this game, as Flasher hits that one to left center field, and it's a leadoff single for the Dolphin shortstop.
Well, it's a great piece of hitting there. Goes opposite, almost gaps it, but it looks like the grass is a little bit wet from some rain we had earlier, and it slowed it down. Didn't quite get past the outfielders.
Yeah, that's a good point there, Sam. With the rain, the way it rained last night, I think it maybe rained a little bit earlier today as well. It did drizzle before first pitch as well in this game. But that could have been a reason why that ball just stopped in left center. And unfortunately allowed not Flasher to have to stay at first base. But the Dolphins still get their first hit of this game. And now they bring it back to the top of the lineup with Jack Keogh.
Keogh hitting .313 this season with 2 homers, 4 for 6 in stolen base attempts. We'll see if he can move the runner over or if he will steal.
Well, you have stunned me once already in this game with A.J. Vigliotti stealing. I wouldn't be surprised, obviously, if Keogh was to get on if he tried to steal.
I'm not sure, but seeing him come back to first base standing up tells me maybe he's a little bit antsy to take 2 here.
There goes Flashner. It's a swing and a miss for a strike, and they have him gunned at second base.
And it looks like the umpire called something to make Flashner stop running, and I'm not sure what it was, but they're going to talk about it here. Because Flashner didn't stop for no reason. Maybe there's a replay that shows what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we'll see what the case was there. But regardless, I mean, Flashner was gunned pretty easily on that play. A beautiful throw by Jackson Jr. And that's one there, Sam, where the Dolphins already trailing by 4 runs. It's a big gamble early in this game, but now it eliminates that leadoff single. And Keogh now is down the count 1-2.
Definitely don't love to see that, but sometimes you got to be aggressive, and to start a rally, you got to have some big movements going on. So, unfortunately, I think Flashner might have been able to make that one if he was sliding head first. It just looked like stopped running in the middle.
He
which
wouldn't.
is strange.
I'll make my point in a second. As Keogh has himself a base hit past the glove of the second baseman and into right field for a 1-out single.
It's a nice piece of hitting there, just over the glove. And you got to think, if Flashner's on second there, does he score?
Yeah,
It was a bobble.
Well,
it was a bobble.
Well, here's what I'm going to bring about that's play at second base. Flashner was gone regardless. He was going to be out. The reason I think he stopped, and there was a conversation with the umpire, I think the umpire was basically telling him that there was no confrontation because, you got thrown out early. And, sometimes when you see a player make a tag towards a player, sometimes they get a little bit confrontational. So I think the umpire was trying to avoid any confrontation from happening. Flashner's reason for stopping is just because the throw was well ahead of him being there at second base. And back to what you were saying a second ago, if Flashner does get on second base, that is an RBI single for Keogh 100%. And that's why that gamble really did not pay off for the Dolphins. Not only does he get caught stealing, but it forces the Dolphins to have another runner on first base. It's still just 1 out of the inning as Palomini hits that one into right. And Maldonado cannot make the play. Throw to second base is not in time. We'll see how they score that one. Maldonado had to go over the shoulder to make the play. Could not make the catch, and it allows Keogh to go to second base.
It looked like right fielder Pert was just a bit too deep to even make a play on that one. So, it's just a perfectly placed bloop there.
Well, you know what the old saying is, Sam. A bloop and a blast can certainly get you back into these games.
Of course.
The Dolphins do get a bloop single. That is the official scoring on the play. And now Vigliotti comes up to the plate with a big spot. And again, it goes back to that play at second base now once again, Sam. If the Dolphins don't get caught stealing at second, they would bring the tying run to the plate in this spot right here.
Well, hopefully they can make up for it. Vigliotti's a guy you want up for sure. He's got 1 homer on the season and 17 RBIs, as that one might have just hit a car, I think.
Would not be surprised. Would not be surprised. Hopefully that is not the case. Like we always mention, you want to make sure you avoid those first 2 rows of the parking lot. I was very fortunate somehow to find a spot in the 3rd row. A nice breaking ball for Felomero just misses on the inside, and the count goes to 2-1.
Looks like he's trying to go back to where the Dolphins pitchers were going, nibbling on that inside, maybe just a bit too much inside.
And if you notice the outfield right now, Sam, as that misses on the outside for ball 3, they're kind of playing towards right center field. Vigliotti is a well-known pole hitter. If he's able to get something down the right field line, he's going to have himself an extra base hit to bring home both of those runners.
Certainly.
But does have a chance to walk here, the 3-1. That one's chopped towards short. Could be tough for a double play. There's one. And I think Palomini was the reason why that throw did not go to first base in time. So it will be a 6-4 fielder's choice on that play. And there's now 2 gone in the inning.
Yep, that's just textbook base running from first to second when you have a potential double play. Didn't look like it was anything malicious by any means. He just slid in there, and the second baseman turning the double play was right there.
Yeah, Palomini, I think if not interfering with that play, it would have been an easy double play turned by the Bears right there. But instead, the inning extends for the Dolphins now with 2-away for J.J. Hunter. And that first pitch off speed is in there for a strike, 0-1 the count. These last couple of games, the Dolphins have been struggling to bring home runners in scoring position. And they're trying to avoid another spot in this one right here. As that misses high for ball 1, and the count evens at 1.
We'll see if Felumero can hang something in there. Maybe Hunter can get a piece of it, send it to left center field.
It's that one foul behind the play, and the count goes to 1-2. On that bat with Vigliotti, he went off speed pitch on 3-1. And he got Vigliotti to chop it towards short. Might have fooled him on that pitch as well to induce that ground ball and what they thought would have been an inning-ending double play.
I do think he fooled him a bit. It looked like Vigliotti was timed up with the fastball nicely before that pitch.
Another off-speed pitch misses on the inside for ball 2. Count evens now at 2-2 with 2 gone in the inning. Dolphins really could use a base hit right here. They've gotten 3 in the inning. Looking for a 4th right here. The 2-2 is hit a mile high in the air towards the press box. Let's see where it lands. And it looks like it went over the press box.
Either right on top or right behind us.
Well, if it went on top, we would have heard it. So I don't think it hit up top. It might have just cleared the press box by a couple of inches. So good luck trying to track that one down. But the count will remain even at 2-2. Dolphin designated hitter looking for a big hit right here. And he hits that one into right center field. That one's going to be trouble. It will bounce and take a base hit. 1 run will score. Vigliotti rounding third. He will score. Hunter rounds second. He's going to third. He slides in safely. A 2-run triple for J.J. Hunter. And the Dolphins cut the deficit to 2. It's now 4-2 Bloomfield.
Great piece of hitting there from Hunter. Sliced that one so it was going away from the center fielder into right center. There is some wind there. And it got to the fence, and then there was a bobble, which might have allowed him to get to third without it.
And we're going to have a mound visit here after that RBI triple. A huge hit for the Dolphins. Has now gotten them back to within 2. And Jaden Waterman now represents the tying run at the plate. So our viewers just got a second-hand look at that last hit from Hunter. A 2-run triple. Gets the Dolphins now back within 2 runs, and it's a big one, Sam, because as we mentioned going into the inning, the Dolphins had not had a hit coming into this inning. They've now gone to Felomero with 4 in the inning, and they are looking for a potential 5th right here for Waterman. But obviously one swing could tie the game, but he would just like to bring home that runner from third base.
I think the Dolphins might smell blood in the water here. Felomero's been running up his pitch count this inning. They've been getting to him pretty frequently. See if they can keep this going for a bigger rally.
You mentioned Waterman's numbers earlier on the broadcast. He has been red hot for CSI. And the Dolphins hoping that one of their more recent hot hitters can get another big hit right here and make this a potential 1-run game. Long look for Felomero. Here comes his first pitch. And it misses on the outside for ball 1.
They're not getting that outside pitch today. It's very close to the corner, just not quite, and the umpire's not having it.
The 1-0. In there for a strike now. Count evens at 1.
And there's the inside pitch that has been called today.
See what Felomero does here. 1-1 the count. A big swing and a miss from Waterman. Looked like he was just behind on that fastball. And the count goes to 1-2.
Might have been sitting breaking ball again there. Felomero looked like maybe he just confused him a little bit.
We'll see if he goes breaking ball here on this 1-2 pitch. Goes back to the fastball, but just misses on the outside for a ball. 2-2 the count.
Bloomfield dugout thought they got that one. Not quite.
It's now 2-2 here. And that pitch just misses for ball 3. And you can even see it behind the plate there, Sam. Sean Jackson Jr. and the rest of his Bloomfield teammates thought they had the third pitch strike. And the count now goes full at 3-2.
I thought maybe they did too, but, that was just a bit high. We've seen some of those pitches called balls today, some of them called strikes. So you never know what you're going to get sometimes with the umpire who's not very consistent.
Big pitch here, 3-2 with 2 gone in the inning. And Waterman hits that one a mile high into center field. Long run. And the catch will be made by the second baseman, Maldonado, and that will retire the side. So the Dolphins will strand a runner here in the home half of the third, but not before. They get a big 2-run triple off the bat of J.J. Hunter. We now head to the top of the fourth inning. It's now a 4-2 lead for Bloomfield.
Dolphins fans, want to stay connected with everything happening at the College of Staten Island? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Catch all the live streams, exclusive behind-the-scenes tours, the latest episodes of CSI Today Talks, student film showcases, and so much more new programming. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button now at youtube.com/College of Staten Island, or scan the QR code on the screen and stay in the loop with everything CSI.
Elder Maldonado will lead it off here at the top of the fourth inning. And Sam, it is now a 4-2 lead for the Bears, as the Dolphins did cut into that deficit with the 2-run triple in the previous half inning.
Yep, and we see Salmonese trot back out there for the Dolphins, looking to make a cleaner outing than his last inning. A couple walks given out.
Salmonese did give up a run that last inning, but that did come via the error from the throw from home plate. Speaking of home plate, we have a new catcher for the Dolphins. It's Jake Giovannone now behind the plate for CSI. As that one is hit in the infield in fair territory, and Vigliotti will make the catch for the first out of the inning.
Apart from the walks, Salmonese was looking pretty solid. I think he had 4 strikeouts in one inning.
He did technically have 4. That last strikeout he got, I believe the second to last strikeout he got, was the one that was that allowed the error that got the Bloomfield 4th run of this game. So that's his first out via non-strikeout on that pop-up. And I'll bring up Sean Jackson Jr. now with 1 away as he's up in the count 1-0.
Jackson Jr. We said he can be a menace on the base paths once he gets on base.
He took a big swing and a miss there for a strike as the count evens at 1. She mentioned Salmonese looking for a cleaner inning here in the 4th, as he's now up in the count 1-2.
Well, he's off to a great start. Knock on wood. But he is looking great so far in the 2nd inning of his outing.
And Sam actually did knock on the wood, I can confirm. But that might have been the commentator's jinx, as that one's into left field for a base hit. Sean Jackson Jr. is on with the 1-out single, and as you mentioned, Sam, he's got the capability to steal as well.
Yep, and I'm so sorry to our viewers out there, but looked like maybe Salmonese just left that one over the plate a little bit too far.
Hey, listen, it's your first commentator's jinx. I probably have about 20 to 30 of them, so first time for everything. It's not a bad thing.
I think it offsets the steal that I called for Vigliotti. So
It might have. But speaking of stealing, Jackson Jr. now has a chance if he's able to do something here during this next at-bat. As the batter here is Andres Frias.
His lead is looking pretty big there. We'll see if maybe the Dolphins can pick him off if he's not expecting it.
Well,
though now he is playing a little bit more safe.
And you would expect it at some point there as Frias takes the swing and a miss for a strike. Think about this as well. As we mentioned, Dolphins with a new catcher in this game with Jake Giovanone. So we'll see how early they try to get a stolen base attempt against the Dolphins' new catcher. It's now 1-1. And you can see it. Jackson Jr. was taking a nice little bit of size lead. And Salmonese throws it back to first base, but he's back in safely.
Yeah, Jackson Jr. is getting back there on the ground. It looks like he's not going to be easy to pick off here.
The 1-1. In the dirt for ball 2. And how about Giovanone so far in this inning? He's done a nice job behind the plate in terms of blocking a couple of wild pitches in the dirt.
That was a great block.
That prevents Jackson Jr. to go into second, and it now makes the count 2-1. He's getting a sizable lead. There he goes. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Throw to second base in time.
What a throw from Gio. Oh, my goodness.
Jake Giovanone with a great throw into second base, and they get Jackson Jr. for the caught stealing, and there's now 2 away.
Jackson Jr. had a crazy lead on that pitch, and Giovanone still threw him out.
And I think also, Sam, that was a strikeout thrower, I believe, in that play. I thought
Yeah, that'll end the inning.
it looked like the count was different. Maybe we'll have to get a clarification on that. But the Dolphins do get out of this top of the 4th inning, as we'll take a second-hand look before we head into break. You mentioned it, Jackson Jr. got a great size lead going towards second, but a strong throw from the Dolphin catcher Giovanone retires the side. We now head to the bottom of the 4th inning. It is now 4-2 Bloomfield.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials, check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
Jake Giovanone will lead it off here in the home half of the fourth inning. And Sam, what a play he made in that previous half inning, gunning the runner Sean Jackson Jr. at second and keeping this with that, well, keeping the Bears, I should say, off the bases and keeping this a 4-2 game.
Can't speak highly enough about what a great play that was from Giovanone. First of all, you saw the runner Jackson Jr. playing mind games and basically guessed that the pitcher was not going to pick off, and he just started going before he even got to his windup. And still, Giovanone got his pop time probably under 1.9, if anyone knows pop time in baseball. It's when the catcher gets up and immediately throws it. That was rapid, and the throw was right on line. It was incredible.
Our viewers just got a second look once again on the close-up shot, our pitcher's Bears camera, and a great look at second base on that camera. And you could see the throw was there on time, a nice tag as well by Leno, and a huge out for the Dolphins in that previous half inning. And he now leads it off here at the bottom of the fourth. He's behind the count here, 1-2. Another breaking ball misses in the dirt for ball 2, evens the count at 2 apiece.
Felomero here was looking good, and then the Dolphins started putting up some hits, stringing them together. We'll see if they can do any more damage this inning.
They've worked up the pitch count as well for Felomero. Looks like he's at 66 pitches here in this fourth. And you mentioned the Dolphins got 4 hits in that previous inning in the third. Giovanone hits that one foul and out of play.
Doesn't hit a car, not quite to the parking lot, but always
That's a good thing.
Always got to look.
Let's keep it that way. I was very worried on. I think it was I think it was Friday that I'm thinking of. Friday, I had to park in the second row, and I was very worried that my car was going to get hit. I was in the red area, if you want to call it. But thankfully, nothing happened in that game. At least for the at least not in the parking lot. That one hit into right, could be trouble, and will drop in for a base hit. Maldonado tried to make the play over the shoulder and could not make the catch as it drops in between him and the right fielder, and it's a leadoff single for Jake Giovanone.
It's a nice blooper there. Just dropped in where no one could get to it. Pert's playing a little bit deep there. He can't really get in that far.
Another bloop single in this game for the Dolphins, as Pert and Maldonado just not able to track that one down, as Giovanone put it in the one spot of the field that they were not able to make the catch. As the Dolphins now bring the tying run to the plate in TJ Leno.
Here's Leno. We talked about his walks. He already has one this game. If he can walk here, pass the baton, keep the rally going.
There is action up in the bullpen for Bloomfield as well. Johnny Downey up in the pen. The count goes to 1-0.
We'll take a look at Downey's pitching stats this season. He has a 19 ERA.
He is a Staten Island native as well. So I'm sure he's happy to be back here on the island. That one chopped down the first base line, and it just goes foul. Count now even here, 1-1 the count. Dolphin second baseman representing the tying run at the plate. We've seen him hit a couple home runs already.
See if maybe after that chopper, the Dolphins get spooked a little bit into stealing second here. Try and prevent the double play and keep that.
Well, we saw in the third inning, they got caught stealing. You could make the case that cost them a run. As Leno bloops that one, but it's in the infield. And it is playable for the third baseman Anderson, and is now one away.
Yeah, Leno just got a little bit under that one.
So one gone in the inning. That brings up Anthony Cetera. Cetera on the day 0 for 1.
See if Cetera can get something going here for the Dolphins. Looks like right center field is looking very inviting.
Big swing and a miss. There goes Giovanone towards second, and he is in there safely.
Let's add Giovanone to the list of catchers who can run.
Yeah. And he got a nice jump as well. And I think also what helped them is that was a low pitch. The Dolphins maybe were going for a hit and run in that spot.
It looks like he also literally stole second base.
Yeah, the whole bag came off.
That We'll see.
They're having to add dirt to it.
See if he gives it back or if he takes that steal.
Look at the second-hand look at that replay. And, yeah, it was certainly going to be a hit and run. Tatera had to lunge out of the way to try to get contact with it. And you can even see it on the pitcher batter camera. They are trying to put as much dirt as they possibly can to get that second base back to where it was.
I'm not sure what the protocol is if they can't figure out how to do it. I mean, maybe you got to go find a particular type of shovel or something. And the bag is back.
That's a good sight to see.
See, we got some bonding here from both teams as they team up to put the bag back in place.
Action will resume in just a few minutes. For Felomero, I mean, now you think about that as well. A little bit of a delay after giving up that stolen base. Now puts a runner into scoring position and an RBI now opportunity for Anthony Satera here.
You got to think about that temperature too. It's not getting any warmer.
It's getting colder and colder by the minute as the count now evens at 1.
When you think about a pitcher, that's especially going to affect them with how they got to grip the ball for their different pitches. And, one mistake changed the game entirely.
After Satera, it's Michael Flashner on deck. It'll be a 1-1 here. And it misses low for ball 2.
That's a good take. Just a bit low. Didn't try and do too much with that one.
Very nice crowd here at the CSI Baseball Complex. Good showing on a crisp night like this as they try to get Giovanone at second, and he's just back in safely.
Looks like maybe the shortstop played his hand there in front of the runner and caused him to get back just in time.
Giovanone almost got caught sleeping on that one. Thankfully for the Dolphins, just got back in safely. Still 2-1, got a little bit of a running start. But that one was swung on. Maybe it was foul tipped, and it's now 2-2. So it's now 2-2 here to the Dolphin third baseman. Dolphins trying to bring home that runner from second in Giovanone and cut this deficit once again. But a nice breaking ball right there for Felomero is in there for strike 3, and there's now 2 away.
And it looks like Felomero's breaking ball is really just fooling Satera right now. He was under both of those, back to back.
So it'll be up to Michael Flashner now with 2 outs in the inning. Flashner got the Dolphins their first base hit of this game with that single out into left field. Was caught stealing during that inning as well. Another hit could give the Dolphins an RBI, and he hits that one foul and out of play.
See if Felomero switches up to the breaking ball now after Flashner's almost on time with the fastball.
That last pitch was number 80 of the game for Felomero, so the Dolphins have really made him work in these last couple of innings. We'll see how much longer he goes into this game. The 0-1. And a breaking ball in the dirt. And a good job behind the plate by Jackson Jr. prevents Giovanone to going to third. And the count evens at 1.
And you see Giovanone not necessarily going back to second right away there, maybe to try and bait the throw from the catcher.
Again, a little bit of a head start, and it misses for ball 2. And I think the other thing also is trying to fool the pitcher as well by having that running head start. You saw on that pitch right there for Felomero, he missed way badly on the upstairs corner. And it's now 2-1 here.
It certainly is very distracting, and I do agree that is part of what they're trying to do there.
And he misses again high for ball 3. And he's in danger of walking Flashner, which would bring the Dolphins back to the top of the lineup and Jack Keogh on deck. So count now is 3-1 here for the Dolphins shortstop. And he hits that one towards second. Maldonado dives, and it goes off the glove. In for a base hit. Coming around third is Giovanone. He will score. RBI single for Michael Flashner, and it's now a 1-run game. Bloomfield leads this one 4-3.
Sometimes all you got to do is put the ball in play, and that one looked like maybe it took an interesting hop. Maybe Maldonado just didn't quite get a good read on it. But either way, run for the Dolphins.
A tough play from Maldonado. Had to dive towards the ball, and it looked like it took a weird bounce as it was about to make the play. And it allowed Giovanone to score from second base. And the Dolphins now have made this a one-run game. And they bring the go-ahead runner to the plate in Jack Keogh, who's already got a hit in this game.
And now we have to watch how long this leash is for Felomero. See the manager walking around antsily right in front of the dugout as Felomero has missed twice now upstairs with a fastball.
He's now at 85 pitches, so you got to think it can't be too much longer. I think if you're the Bears, you just want him to get out of this inning at least and wait maybe one more bat before going towards the bullpen. But this is the spot that CSI needed, Sam. Now they're back to the top of the lineup, and Keogh already has himself a 2-0 count. Making now 3-0.
Now's the time to strike if you're the Dolphins. I'm guessing if he walks Keogh here, he's getting pulled from this game.
I mentioned earlier, Johnny Downey is up in the bullpen. He would be next in line for the Bears in this game. It's now a 3-0 count here for the Dolphin right fielder, and that one misses badly high for ball 4. So now the Dolphins will have the tying run at second, the go-ahead runner at first. Chris Palomini will come to the plate, but it looks like he will face a new pitcher.
And it is important to see also the ERAs of the bullpen for Bloomfield. Not too great. So maybe the Dolphins can still pounce.
So that is indeed the case. That is going to be it for Felomero in this game. He will come out. And that will bring in Johnny Downey out of the bullpen. When we come back from this commercial break, it is now 4-3 Bloomfield.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Back here for the home fourth and a new pitcher for the Bloomfield College Bears. It is Johnny Downey on in relief. And he faces a daunting task here with 2 gone in the inning, first and second. And Chris Palomini coming up for the Dolphins.
Downey, looking at the hard part of this lineup for the Dolphins, he has a 19 ERA this season.
He misses that one high for a ball, 1-0 the count. I mentioned Downey is a Staten Island native. Would love to get the final out of this inning right here and keep this lead at 4-3. Long look towards second, the 1-0. Big swing and miss from Palomini. You can tell what he was trying to do right there, Sam, on that swing. The count even to 1.
Looked like he was just a bit over that fastball. certainly trying to take it over the fence onto the Staten Island track.
Yeah, I've seen a home run hit towards that track before. The 1-1 just misses on the outside for ball 2.
That's surprising. It looked like a good pitch. First one, too, but, the zone is not characterized by me.
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier. These pitchers are trying to go on the outside corner. It's not been called often in this game. Now Downey's behind the count, 2-1. Palomini hits that one foul down the right field line. The count evens at 2.
He looks just about timed up on the fastball now. Maybe a slight bit under that one. We'll see what Downey goes with next. I don't think I've seen anything other than a fastball from him yet.
Could see maybe an off-speed pitch here on 2-2. A huge spot in this game early on. Long look towards second. Here comes the 2-2. Runner is going. It is ball 3. Throw to third base is in time. And the Dolphins get caught stealing to end the inning. And Sam, I do not agree with that decision with the close game like this.
No. Definitely not.
Perfectly well said. The second time in this game the Dolphins are caught stealing, and that one is just a backbreaker considering they had the tying run at second, the go-ahead run at first, and they now end the inning with leaving the 2 runners on. They do bring home a run in the inning as we now head to the top of the 5th. It is now a 4-3 lead for Bloomfield.
Balance. It isn't just essential in your sport. It's essential in life, especially college life. It's everything you need to thrive in school, in sport, and everything in between. The key is just finding a place where you can pursue it all. Because the real beauty lies in the balance. If you want to win in every arena of college life, go D2. Make it yours.
And we are back for the top of the 5th inning here at the CSI Baseball Complex. A 4-3 game. Not only a change in the scoreboard, but for the moment, a change here at the broadcast team as I am joined by my broadcast partner, Joe Foreman.
Well, Nick, thanks for holding everything down as I was covering an overtime game in New Jersey.
Ground ball hit towards second. Lato makes the play towards first, and there's now 1 away in the inning.
Well, I said before I covered a game today for a client in Bridgewater, which is about 30 minutes away, that it would only be fitting if, with this game moved back, I ended up in overtime and arrived late. Had the game not gone to overtime, I would have arrived exactly at 5 p.m. Instead, we went to overtime. I got here at 5:30. You and Sam have done a great job.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Trying to hold down the fort here at the baseball complex. And we got a good one so far in this game as there's another first pitch swing. Hit long into right field. Long run for Keogh, but he will make the play. And just like that, Salmonese has retired the first 2 batters on 3 pitches.
Well, by the time Sam returns to his seat, he will have missed a full inning or 2.
I know.
At this rate. They want me out of here. 2 quick outs.
That was the drive back from Jersey, not bad.
Major accident on the highway, which delayed me a bit. The normal ETA would have been about 30 minutes. It took about 55. And I pulled into the parking lot here, I believe, at 5:30.
Not bad. Not bad.
Considering the traffic, I will take it. But our viewers were without our pitcher-batter camera for a bit. Thankfully, that's been situated and with us since the second inning.
Malachi Jones up with 2 gone here as he hits that one into right. Long run for Keogh as that one is in shallow ground, but he will make the catch, and that will retire the side. I believe a 5-pitch inning there from Salmonese. A very quick work here in the top of the fifth. Now brings us to the home of the fifth inning. The Dolphins still trailing this game 4-3.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
And we are back for the home fifth here at CSI's baseball complex. Still 4-3. But once again, a change to the broadcast team as Sam Whalen, you are back.
I am, and I had the pleasure of meeting both Mr. Maldonado of Bloomfield and Mr. Hunter of CSI, who had the same idea as me.
I wonder what that idea was. I think we'll just leave it up for interpretation.
That's a good idea.
We'll just leave it at that. Cows 1-0 here to Chris Palomini, who, if you remember, Sam, was batting in that fourth inning as he hits that one down the third base line and foul. But he comes back up here in the fifth due to the Dolphins being caught at third base on a stolen base attempt.
And it might include he does come up now with no runners on base.
Yeah. A big sigh of relief and a big break for Downey, who came in relief in that spot. And he still maintains this 4-3 lead out of the bullpen. But he will face the heart of the order for the Dolphins in this inning. 2, 3, and 4. Palomini, Vigliotti, and Hunter. The 1-1. Look out. Palomini had to duck out of the way on that one. The count goes 2-1.
I hope it's not intentional. I'm not going to say it. But Palomini
Definitely
is
not
the best hitter on this team.
Yeah, you don't want to put Palomini on with a free base. I also will make a quick note as well. Salmonese threw 6 pitches in that last inning. A very quick top of the fifth. I did my math wrong just by a missed a pitch. I said 5 initially. It was 6. But very quick work for the Dolphin reliever. And it very much will bring him out for another inning of relief. He's going into the next inning just throwing 39 pitches in this game. Just coming out of the bullpen in the third inning.
And I'm not going to jinx that again, so my thoughts on that will
you just keep it,
remain
just keep
to
it
myself.
At that. As Palomini works a leadoff walk to start this fifth inning. And the Dolphins now the tying run at first. A very good runner in Palomini. And now the go-ahead runner at the plate. A guy that we know certainly has the capability of hitting a home run in A.J. Vigliotti.
Certainly, and the wind has died down, if you can see that flag in left field. So any ball pulled in the air to left field is not going to be batted down by the wind anymore.
There goes Palomini on the first pitch. It is in there for a strike, but Palomini is in there safely.
Effortless. He beat that throw by a mile, and then no tag was even attempted.
Throw was a little bit offline, but even if on target, would have been very tough to catch Palomini at second base. He got a very good jump. And now the tying run is in scoring position for CSI. The 0-1, there he goes again. Hit into right field. That one will drop in for a base hit. Palomini will round third and score. The ball gets past the right fielder Pert. That allows Vigliotti to go from first to third. And the Dolphins will tie this game at 4.
Great piece of hitting there. On the steal, I was afraid Pert was going to catch that one and then maybe try and double up Palomini, but, it gets down and then it gets by him. Pert hasn't shown the greatest ability in right field so far.
It looked like Pert was trying to make the throw towards home, and he lost the ball and it went under his glove and got past him. So that would be a single and an error on the play, allowing Vigliotti to go to third. The Dolphins now have the go-ahead runner in scoring position, and J.J. Hunter comes to the plate. And we'll take a first pitch strike 0-1.
And Hunter, of course, hit that triple into the right center gap. See if you can do something again here, productive for the Dolphins, maybe take the lead.
Hunter, as you mentioned, that 2-run triple cut the deficit to 4-2. The Dolphins now have tied this game at 4. And with a chance right here to take the lead for the first time here tonight. See the infield as well as in for the Bears, trying to prevent that runner from scoring. Here comes the 1-1. That one hit foul and in towards the parking lot, and the count goes to 1-2.
Hunter, if you look at his numbers, he's not a guy who's going to strike out very much. Frequently, if he is out, it is on contact, and that's exactly what you want here with a runner on third. 0 outs.
Well, the Dolphins are hoping for maybe not another commentator's jinx. He is down the count here 1-2. As Sam once again knocks on the table, knocking on wood. Let's see what happens on 1-2 for the Dolphin designated hitter. And it misses on the outside for ball 2.
That's a good eye there. I'm really glad he didn't swing at that one.
Good job by Jackson Jr. once again behind the plate. That one gets past him. Vigliotti's got a chance to score from third to give CSI their first lead tonight. It'll now be an even 2-2 count here for Hunter. And Hunter hits that one a long way into left. That will be playable in left field for Jones. He will make the catch. There will be no attempt to throw it into home as Vigliotti will go from third to the home plate. And just like that on the sacrifice fly, the Dolphins take their first lead of the night. It's now 5-4 CSI.
It's exactly what you want to see there. Textbook baseball from Hunter. Get the ball in the air to the outfield. And the Dolphins, their first lead of the game.
Great resiliency from the CSI team, Sam. They have now gone 7 hits in this game. They had none going into the third inning. And they have fought their way back after trailing 4-0 early on. Still just 1 away, and that will bring up Jaden Waterman.
We'll see if Waterman can keep things going here. Fortunately for the Dolphins, I don't think it's going to get any prettier for this Bloomfield bullpen.
Downey has now thrown 17 pitches out of relief. Is now trying to keep this game within reach for his team. So that one's fouled behind the plate. And let's make sure that doesn't go anywhere near that camera.
Yeah, we might have to check on that one because it looked close.
It's good now, but let's just make sure it doesn't go anywhere close to it. We don't want another incident. We already have one enough. 1-1 the count here for Downey. And in there for a strike now, 1-2.
See if Waterman's maybe trying to run up the pitch count a little bit. He's not sitting on that fastball down the middle.
Here comes now the 1-2. Misses low and inside for ball 2.
Still not quite sure what the breaking ball or off speed is here from Downey. Might have missed it, but it looks like mostly just fastballs here.
Let's see what he does here on 2-2, trying to get the second out of this inning. And he misses just high for ball 3, and Waterman has now worked the count full.
Another fastball. We'll see what he does here.
So full count, 3-2 here for the Dolphin left fielder. The pitch from Downey, and that will plunk him. It might have hit him on the hand. It looks like that wasn't the case. Maybe a little bit on the wrist. But Waterman's going to get into first base, and we'll see if he is okay.
That one's going to hurt a lot more in this cold. Hopefully he's all right. And he looks good enough to take the base.
Waterman will go to first base, so that's a good sight to see for the Dolphins. He'll stay into this game. And now bring up Jake Giovanone.
Now there's a meeting on the mound. We're not sure yet what this is about. Maybe to just give Downey a breather. Looks like they haven't signed to the bullpen yet.
So there is action up in the bullpen for Bloomfield.
It's possible they're buying the bullpen pitcher just a little bit more time.
That's Matthew Rayo. It looks like that's up in the pen for the Bears. Another Staten Island native. A freshman on this Bloomfield team. Dolphins do have a couple lefties in their lineup as well, so might expect to see that and maybe in the next couple batters. But for now, Downey will stay into this game.
The catcher, number 12, Giovanone.
Giovanone, Sam, is coming to this game. Has made a nice impact so far. Caught Jackson Jr. at second base on the caught stealing. Also has himself a single as well. Scored a run in that inning as well for the Dolphins. And now comes up with a runner on first as they check Waterman, but he's back in safely.
Giovanone has certainly been impressive in this opportunity he's been given. And we'll see if Waterman tries to advance here and then maybe get a base hit to score him.
We'll see if that is indeed the case. First pitch from Downey. Misses on the inside for ball one.
That inside pitch has been called this game, but maybe just the reaction from Giovanone threw off the umpire a little bit.
And I don't even know if you saw the reaction from Jackson Jr., the catcher. He was visibly frustrated by that pitch not being called a strike. As they check Waterman again at first base, but he's back in safely.
No success as of yet trying to pick off Dolphins runners.
We got to do a knock counter for how many times you knock on wood. Try to prevent any more commentators' jinxes from happening. As that one again misses on the inside, and once again, you can see the frustrations from not only Jackson Jr., but now from Downey as the count goes to 2-0.
And the Bloomfield dugout as well, because they know that those pitches have been called this game, and maybe just Giovanone's way of getting out of the way of it kind of throws the umpire off a little bit.
And with the way the season has gone so far for Bloomfield, they're looking to get these pitches called for strikes. That one might have hit Waterman on the pickoff attempt. It had to have, the way it took a bounce. He's back in safely.
I'm not sure what it bounced off of, but it bounced hard and
probably one of the cleats, if I had to guess.
Yeah, and rolled far away. Luckily for Bloomfield, right to their second baseman.
Yeah, I think if it doesn't hit Waterman, that might go past the first baseman and allow him to go to second. Here's the 2-0 from Downey, and it's now ball 3.
Downey is having a hard time trying to locate that fastball. We'll see if he goes to another pitch here or if it's just going to keep eating a heavy dose of fastballs.
In danger of walking Giovanone here on just 4 pitches. It's a 3-0 count. And he gets that strike in there for a 3-1 count now.
Well, it's a good take on a 3-0. We'll see if he can do it again, though. Because that one looked like maybe he took a little bit off just to get a strike.
Sometimes these pitchers do that just to at least get one in there. And then work their way back from the count. The 3-1. That one's hit towards third. Could be 2. Anderson to Maldonado. Maldonado on to first is way offline. Don't think they would have been able to turn it regardless. So they do get the force out at second. And there's now 2 away.
It's a good hustle there from Giovanone. Looked like he would have beaten it out anyways.
So the Dolphins will extend the inning and bring up Anthony Sotero now with 2 gone. Or excuse me, TJ Leno. Just the batter ahead. Just the batter ahead.
Leno has 1 walk in this game.
You mentioned Leno with that walk. He's 0 for 1 so far. He would certainly love to get on. Gives Sotero, as I mentioned, is on deck, a chance. There goes the runner towards second, and Giovanone is once again in there safely. His second stolen base of this contest.
And he slid in hard and hit his knee right on the bag. Hopefully he's all right.
We saw that the last time. That took the whole bag off the last time he slid into second base.
It looks like the teamwork to put the bag back in place was effective.
They say it, teamwork makes the dream work. And that looked like to be the case for that second base bag. But now a chance here for Leno Sam. A single could bring home Giovanone from second and extend the CSI lead. The 1-0. In there for a strike, 1-1 the count.
It's another fastball right down the middle there. See what Leno's looking for on this next pitch. It is a good take, though, after quite a few balls and then a wild pitch.
Long look towards second. Here comes the 1-1. That one hit towards first and past the diving glove and in for a base hit. Or maybe not. I thought it went past the first baseman glove and the inning is over. I thought for sure Leno for a second had the hit, and he did not. And that will retire the side. A great play at first base, saving a run from scoring right there with Sarah. That will retire the side here in the home fifth. We now head to the top of the sixth inning. It is now a 5-4 lead for CSI.
In a very historical school, and we really have to recognize as students on this campus the amount of sacrifice that has been bared for us to be able to receive education.
CUNY has really inspired me to think creatively and think differently about how it is we listen to one another. And so long term, my goal is to continue that pattern.
But I think I'd encourage students to attend CUNY because the faculty here is truly amazing.
Jordan Purr will lead off here at the top of the sixth. It's now a 5-4 lead for CSI in this game. The Dolphins getting 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, and 2 in the fifth. And Sam, I thought for a second they had another run scored, but my blunder did not get the Dolphins another base hit. And a nice play from Sarah at first base prevented a run from scoring and keep this game at 5-4.
If only that was how that worked. If you called it and they changed it on the field, but unfortunately.
Let's just say I got a nice round of applause, or maybe some jeers, if you want to call it, from our colleagues here at CSI Sportsnet once that inning ended. That one's going to go in the highlight reel for sure. Maybe, and by highlight reel, I mean the not top 10 that ESPN does sometimes with at SportsCenter. That might be on there.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it was a nice diving play.
Count now goes 2-1 for Pert. Salmonese, as we mentioned, that last inning he pitched, only threw 6 pitches in that inning. I would have to assume, as that one misses for ball 3, I would have to think the Dolphins do have a pitcher warming up in their bullpen. And it might be Jack Keogh, I think, that's warming up for them. We saw him in relief on Friday. as Pert misses that one for ball 4. So Pert's on with a leadoff walk to start the 6th. And that will bring up Anderson now as the go-ahead runner.
Now batting, the third baseman, number 7, Charles Anderson.
Here's Anderson, who is hitting 154 on the season.
He's 0 for 2 today with a strikeout. Shows bunt there and a nice block behind the plate by Giovanone. And the count goes to 1-0.
I'm not sure he pulled that bunt back in time. I would like to see a challenge there. But, of course, Giovanone was occupied with getting the ball after it bounced.
So it looks like they're trying to concede the runner going to second for Anderson here on the bunt. And they will throw it towards first base, and Pert is back in safely. Bloomfield trailing for the first time in this game. They led 4-0 going into the bottom of the 3rd. Dolphins have now scored 5 unanswered runs. No bunt shown there by Anderson. It's in there for a strike, and the count evens at 1.
There's that inside strike we were talking about. Looks like it just painted the corner, and without a reaction really from Anderson, the umpire was able to call that one.
1-1. Misses on the outside for ball 2.
Looked like the same height, but they're just not getting that outside corner call today.
So Anderson started this at bat showing bunt. Has not shown a bunt since, and the count goes to 2-1. Early hitters count for him here. And that one's in there for strike 2, and the count evens at 2.
And that does look like that same pitch.
Anderson moved out of the way on that one. He thought that was ball 3. But it hit the outside corner as they once again check on Pert, but he's back in safely.
The Bears already picked off once today. See if they can make it twice. That would be their 6th on the season if they were to get picked off again today.
They've also been caught stealing as well in this game. The 2-2, and it misses low for ball 3. So we'll see what they do on this pitch here, Sam. Full count 3-2. Would be curious if they ran Pert on this next pitch.
If they did, it would be interesting to see if maybe there was a pop-up to the infield or a liner. Maybe the Dolphins could turn
He does not run, and Anderson hits that one into left, but Waterman was there at the right place at the right time, and it's allowed out number 1.
Yeah, that ball was rocked, but right to Waterman. Sometimes that's how it goes.
A nice piece of hitting from Anderson. Got the count full at 3-2, but just found Waterman, who was there on the defensive alignment. And that'll bring up Joseph Klein now with 1 gone in the inning.
Klein already has a hit in this game, but on the season before this game, he was hitting .083.
His 1 hit brought home a run. He's 1 for 2. As they keep checking Pert, there he goes. Klein shows bunt down the third base line, and Sotero will let that one roll foul.
Very smart by Sotero. He saw that it might have just creased a little bit off of the infield grass and then started moving out of play.
It's a nice placed bunt by Klein, but they were also going with Pert going to second base on a stolen base attempt. And it just rolled foul. And they'll do it again here now with the count going to 0-1. See if they show bunt or maybe they have Pert going on this next pitch. That one low in the dirt for ball. Count evens at 1.
Well, we did not see him show bunt there, but you never know. Maybe if he recognizes the third baseman is not in anymore, he'll go for another bunt. He has another attempt.
1-1. That one in there for a strike on the outside. The count goes to 1-2.
That's a nicely placed pitch. Not quite on the corner like we've been seeing them try to paint. Just a real good strike there.
After Klein's back to the top of the lineup for Bloomfield. So a big spot here for the Dolphins trying to get this out. Here comes the 1-2 from Salmonese. That one hit into left field and will drop in for a base hit. Joseph Klein is on with his second hit of the night. And now the Bears will have the tying run at second and the go-ahead run at first with still 1 away in the inning.
I like that pitch there from Salmonese. I know what he's thinking. He's trying to jam him in, but Klein just really got his hands around that ball really quickly.
And I think we're going to have a pitching change here, Sam, as well. We'll see if that is indeed the case. We did see the Dolphins warming up a pitcher in their bullpen. I believe, it could be wrong, it might be Jack Keogh coming in. It also could be Michael Santoriello. There's only 2 lefties on this team that throw. And it is Santoriello, it looks like. The Dolphins will make a pitching change. We'll come back and give you the stats for Santoriello on the season. It's a 5-4 lead for the Dolphins when we come back from this commercial break. Aldo Maldonado will bat here with 1 away and first and second for the Bears as he faces the new Dolphin pitcher, Michael Santoriello.
Santoriello is coming into this game with 5 innings pitched, 2 additional outs, and he is rocking a 19.06 ERA.
Misses Bailey on that first pitch for a ball, 1-0 the count. Trying to hold on to this Dolphin 1-run lead. Double play ball could get him out of the inning. He gets that one in there for a strike to count even at 1.
Would love to see a bounce back here from Santoriello. Sometimes early in the season, that ERA can be inflated from 1 or 2 bad outings.
Nice block from Giovanone. The count goes to 2-1.
We'll see if they try and go inside again here. Maybe jam number 3, Maldonado.
The last time Santoriello pitched as well, Sam, was on March 11th, so it's been 2 weeks since he's last pitched. So you got to wonder if that rust will play into any factor in this game, and he's already down the count here, 3-1. Now 3-1 here to Maldonado, and he takes a big swing and a miss for strike 2, and the count goes full at 3-2.
Like that pitch a lot. I'm not sure. Maybe it was a changeup. Looked like it tailed arm side away from Maldonado, and he was on top of it.
Huge pitch here for Santoriello with 1 gone in the inning. Full count, 3-2. And it's swung on and missed for strike 3. A huge punch-out from Santoriello off of Maldonado, and there's now 2 away.
And it looked like the same pitch from before, moving arm side down a little bit. Maldonado's just over the top.
So it's now going to be up to Sean Jackson Jr. with 2 gone in the inning. Still first and second. The Dolphins hanging on to a 1-run lead. And that one on the outside for a strike, 0-1 the count.
It's always good when your reliever comes in and starts pumping strikes. No walks yet from Santoriello.
You would like it to keep it that way. Keep the Dolphin lead as well, as there's a big swing and a miss. Might have been a little bit foul tipped by Jackson, and the Cow now goes to 0-2.
That one looked like maybe a slider, something cutting a little bit glove side. Absolutely nasty. It dropped. And, of course, the batter was just on top of it again.
Santoriello looking for back-to-back punch-outs to retire the side. Here comes the 0-2. Did he go? He did! It's strike 3. Giovanone throws to first base in time, and that will retire the side. How about the work out of the bullpen from Michael Santoriello? Back-to-back punch-outs here in the top of the 6th will strand the 2 base runners for the Bears. We now head into the home half of the 6th inning. The Dolphins still lead this one, 5-4.
Hobra, a taco joint, Staten Island, where we're proud to have shared our family-first spirit with people from throughout New York City and the world. With indoor dining available both at the bar and on the floor. Or step outside for additional seating and an outdoor bar. Serving beer that's crisp, ice cold, and worthy of a day at the beach. Cocktails that explode with flavor. And great food made with the freshest and healthiest ingredients available. Events feature food and drink specials. Live music. And the best of Staten Island nightlife. Your CSI Student ID saves you 10% on your dining order at Hobra. Visit us at 412 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Back for the home 6th. It's still a 5-4 lead for CSI. And Sam, we talked about it before that last break. A great job out of the bullpen by Michael Santoriello getting back-to-back strikeouts to retire the side and strand the base runners.
Yeah, that was great work, and you love it when your reliever comes in and starts pumping strikes. Santoriello had some nasty stuff. We'll see if they send him back out. They've got, looks like maybe, is that Waterman out in the bullpen? Getting warm.
Is that him?
Maybe he's just cold.
I mean, we do see the outfielder sometimes warm up in the bullpen.
No, I believe that's Flashner, actually.
Well, Flashner's on deck, so it can't be him.
It looks like the number 3. Maybe it's the number 8.
Well, I can assure you it's not Flashner. I know that for a fact. Sotero's up in the count here, 3-0.
I'm getting old. My vision's going.
I mean, I thought base hit. I thought we had a base hit a few innings ago, and it was clearly caught. As Sotero works a 4-pitch walk, and that will bring up Michael Flashner now, whether we're on first base.
Anyway, Santoriello came in, great outing. Had at the end what we like to call a sword. The batter looked completely fooled. Threw him out on the drop third, as here is Flashner with Satara on first.
Flasher's had himself a nice night at the plate. He is 2 for 2 in this game. You love to see that out of your number 9 hitter. He does show bunt, and he hits that one foul, and I think it hit. Oh, and it did. It hit the umpire on the hand, and you saw it, Sam. He was in a lot of pain after that happened.
And he should be. It is very cold, so
yeah,
any contact is going to hurt
sting.
a lot.
That's going to sting for a little bit.
Hopefully he's all right, but this one might take a while with the cold. I doubt he's even able to feel his hand right now. And his coworker has gloves on, which is a nice ability when you're not calling balls and strikes.
Well, we'll have to see how long this delay is. We already had a delay at second base where the bat came off. Now a delay here to check on the umpire behind the plate after he was hit by that last pitch.
And once again, you got to think, how is this going to affect the Bloomfield pitcher who has to wait in the cold on the mound?
Umpire it looks like it will be good, so that's a good side to see. But as you mentioned, Downey, coming into this inning, he right now has 35 pitches thrown in this game since coming in relief. And we saw Flasher lay down the bunt on that first pitch. See if he does it again here. Dolphins will have the top of the lineup, I should say, on deck after this. He does show bunt on the 0-1, and it misses for a ball to throw to first base. And not in time. A little bit of a collision as well at first base. But both players look to be okay.
Looks like the first baseman got a little too anxious there with the tag and just fell backwards.
That was Sarah on that play, looking to make the tag. I think he might have tripped over Satara on that play. Now 1-1. Third baseman Anderson is in as they check the runner once again. Satara back in safely.
And now this is the part where the home crowd should be raining boos on the pitcher, which is one of my favorite parts about going to a home game.
Well, they might be waiting.
Game.
They might be weighing the boos just because of how cold it is right now. It is getting frigid outside right now, and I can feel it up here in the press box. There's a bunt shown, and it's under the glove of Anderson, and that's going to be a base hit.
And the catcher, Jackson Jr., picks it up, doesn't even give it a chance to roll foul. I might have waited for a second there if you knew the runners were going to be safe regardless.
Flashner now 3 for 3 on the night with that bunt single, and it brings us back to the top of the lineup for the Dolphins as here comes Jack Keogh.
And the third baseman, Anderson, made a great play. Almost got in and caught that one as it was stabbed by Flashner.
A very rare bunt single. Now gives CSI first and second, still nobody out in the inning. And now Keogh will show bunt. This one is in the air, and it is caught by Downey, the pitcher. And Sam, you got away with it once. CSI was not going to get away with it twice.
No, you hate to see that. Definitely not what he wanted to do there. No bunting there. It's questionable in the first place,
I just don't know if I agree with going back-to-back bunts, especially with the top of the lineup now.
With a guy like Kehoe, you definitely want to try and do damage with that bat in your lineup. He's hitting .313 with 2 homers.
He was one for 2 before that at bat. It's a costly out number 1 for the Dolphins as it brings up Chris Palomini. Now it misses high for a ball, 1-0 the count.
Looks like Downey might be losing his juice a little bit here. Kind of just laid that one up there.
Palomini so far tonight is 1 for 2. It's also worked a walk. He hits that one into right center field. That one is trouble. That one is going to be off the wall. 1 run will score. 2 runs will score. Palomini's in the third base standing with a 2-run triple, and the Dolphins extend their lead. It's now 7-4.
That was beautiful from Palomini. Gapped it to right center. Went down and got a fastball. He was timed up on it. You got to think maybe, there is a pitching change. That's what I was about to say.
The pitching change will happen now after that 2-run triple. Palomini got a good ride into that one into right center field. You mentioned that gap earlier in this game, and Palomini found it on that one and delivers another 2-run triple in this game for the Dolphins. They had one from Hunter earlier. They now get one there from their center fielder, and they now extend their lead to 7-4. As we mentioned, there is a pitching change coming up for the Bears. We will have that pitching change when we come back from this commercial break. It is now a 7-4 lead for CSI.
No, I'm right. The podcast that uncovers the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Nick Durst here along with Joe Calabrese.
Here we are, 200 episodes later, about 150 episodes with guests, our friends, soon to be your friends.
Well, it's pretty clear, Joe, that it's all about You Know I'm Right, the podcast. That's my You Know I'm Right moment. Wanted to do a podcast, and everyone was like, what are you, crazy? Who's going to listen? You're not going to get guests. Well, guess what? I'm the best when it comes to getting guests. You could vouch for that.
I am so happy that you asked me to do this. I couldn't have been more thrilled. And follow us on socials. Check us out. I promise you, if you want to work in media, whether you work in media now, whether you want to quit your job and work in media, come to us, and I promise you, we will get you on the right foot.
That's what it's all about, uncovering the origin stories of some of the biggest names in sports, media, and entertainment. Keep it locked on You Know I'm Right.
And we are back for commercial break. AJ Vigliotti, the next batter for the Dolphins, as he will face Matthew Rayau here in the bottom of the sixth, and it's now a 7-4 lead for the Dolphins off that 2-run triple for Chris Palomini.
Matthew Rayau, or Rao, however you want to say it, currently has an ERA of 16.5 coming into this game. 6 innings pitched, 14 hits given up, 11 earned runs. And when you look at the Bloomfield pitching staff, you'll see that only 2 pitchers have an ERA under 10. The rest of them, all above, and they're all going to be the relievers that you see coming into games like this. So things are just going to keep getting better for the Dolphins.
Well, at least they hope that is the case. As Vigliotti, you saw it right there, as Sam once again knocks on the table. But Vigliotti, first pitch swinging, he was going for a home run swing right there, was just maybe a second behind on that fastball. And the count goes to 0-1.
Certainly trying to draw blood early against the new reliever.
Misses on the outside for ball 1. We also see the infield is in for Bloomfield here. Try and prevent another run from scoring. Their 4-0 lead has now gone as the Dolphins have scored 7 unanswered runs in these last 4 innings.
Still a lot of baseball to be played, of course. But things are looking up for the Dolphins.
As Vigliotti takes that one for a strike, and the count goes to 1-2.
I was watching this bullpen, and it looked like Rao had something of a slurve or a slider. See if he tries to break that out here.
Does have a 1-2 count, but he does hit Vigliotti on the inside.
Nails him right in the back. Not what you want to do there if you're Rao.
So Vigliotti goes to first. It will now be first and third, still 1 out in the inning. And that'll bring up J.J. Hunter.
Now batting, the designated hitter, number 19, J.J. Hunter.
Hunter looking to make some more noise in this game.
Hunter.
As you saw, he had a triple earlier.
He has 3 RBIs in the night. He's responsible for realistically getting this rally started for the Dolphins. That 2-run triple, as you mentioned, and he also had the go-ahead sacrifice fly to give CSI at that time a 5-4 lead.
And that sac fly was no small feat. That was all the way to the warning track, maybe just a couple feet from going out.
Count goes to 1-0 here.
Now we see the wind blowing a little bit more than it was earlier. Maybe if he goes oppo, could take that one out of the park.
He hit that triple into right center field, and the wind is blowing towards right field. As that one misses for a ball 2-0. We did see Vigliotti still earlier in this game. I'm still stunned that he stole at this point. Would the Dolphins consider maybe trying to get him to go to second at this point to avoid a double play ball from end of the inning?
I'll tell you what, I would be surprised. Shocked even.
You would be so. We could be both stunned and shocked and surprised at some point by Vigliotti's base running if he were to steal this at bat. The count right now is 2-1. Doesn't go there. And it's now a 3-1 count, so.
And Bloomfield wanted that pitch pretty badly. That looked like a good pitch, but, they're chirping and the pitcher's showing signs. Yeah, sometimes the umpire doesn't like that.
They have been very vocal tonight with the strike zone. That one chopped on the third base line and foul. And it's now a full count, and I wouldn't be surprised if Vigliotti maybe goes on this next pitch.
I would be shocked, but that happens.
Does happen. We have been stunned a couple times already tonight. Still a lot more baseball, as you mentioned, left in this one. Bottom of the sixth, still 1 out in the inning. It's a full count, 3-2. Vigliotti does not go as Hunter will hit that one into center. Might be just enough, or maybe not. Or will it be? There he goes from third to home, and Palomini will score.
Palomini's just that fast.
I got to remember, Sam, you can never doubt him, no matter how deep the ball is hit into the outfield. So it's a sacrifice fly for Hunter. He now has 4 RBIs in the night, and it's an 8-4 Dolphin lead.
I hate to make MLB comparisons. Just kidding. I love it. But the one thing that reminds me of is Fernando Tatis Jr. in 2019. Infield pop-up, scores on a sac fly. Palomini's got that speed. He can do whatever he wants on the base path.
Yeah, you can never doubt him once he sees where the ball is. And initially, it didn't look like he was going to have a chance. That ball was hit into shallow right center field, and it was caught by the second baseman, Maldonado. And he still went towards home, and he got in there safely. As the Dolphins have now scored 8 unanswered runs, and now a 4-run lead of their own. As the count goes now to 1-1 for Waterman. Here goes the 1-1. There goes the runner, Vigliotti. That one is hit into left. And there is the shortstop. And the catch is made by the shortstop, Klein, and that will retire the side. But not before the Dolphins get 3 more runs here in this home 6th inning. We now head to the top of the 7th. The Dolphins now with an 8-4 lead.
Dolphins fans, want to stay connected with everything happening at the College of Staten Island? Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Catch all the live streams, exclusive behind-the-scenes tours, the latest episodes of CSI Today Talks, student film showcases, and so much more new programming. Don't miss out. Hit that subscribe button now at youtube.com/College of Staten Island or scan the QR code on the screen and stay in the loop with everything CSI.
Andres Frias will lead it off here at the top of the 7th. And Sam, it is now an 8-4 lead for the Dolphins. They at one point trailed by 4. They now lead this game by 4 to start the 7th.
You'd love to see it. We were talking about it earlier when Bloomfield still had their 4-0 lead. We said there's a lot of baseball left to be played, and sure enough, here come the Dolphins.
Michael Santoriella back out in relief for the Dolphins. Did a nice job Getting back-to-back strikeouts to relieve Anthony Salmonese.
And there's that, what looks to be his signature nasty slider, brings it back from the outside corner for a strike.
And how about this, Sam? He now has 3 outs, all via strikeouts, as he retires Frias for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, it's pretty great. I mean, that slider is just fooling every single one of those Bloomfield hitters right now.
Sometimes when you see that windup from a lefty where they extend their arm out to make that pitch, it could fool any batter. And you saw it right there on that breaking ball, maybe a little bit of a slider. Missed on the outside, but it's really tough to gauge of where that pitch is going to go for any hitter that's especially hitting as a right-handed batter.
Another thing I'm noticing is Santoriello looks like he's trying to work a little bit quickly, so the batter's not getting time to process what just happened.
Well, there is a reason for that, Sam, as well. Remember, the pitch clock has now been introduced to Division II baseball this season. So they only have 20 seconds to throw after stepping on the rubber.
I'm guessing that clock's getting to about 13 or 14, and Santoriello just keeps firing strikes in there.
Count out 3-1 to the first baseman, Frank Serra. And rarely have we heard the clock go off so far this season. It was introduced to us this past weekend. So that one hit up the middle, off the glove of Santoriello. He will throw it to Vigliotti in time, and there's now 2 away.
Well, another quick out from Santoriello. What a knock. But he's having a great outing so far.
I should make a graphic for how many times you've knocked in this game.
It's at least 2 for every time I've said something.
Well, as I mentioned, you're trying to avoid any further commentators' jinxes. It's going to bound to happen at some point. It happens to every single one that takes on this headset.
Seems that's the nature of the sport. Anything can happen.
Joe Foreman's mentioning that he doesn't have any commentators' jinxes, but I could probably bring up an instance or two of where that's happened.
Well, now that he said that, of course,
that's
a jinx in itself.
I can't really talk. I've already had a blunder in this game as it is. As the current batter is Medina. He's up in the count 2-0. And he will hit that one foul.
That is a rocket going to the third row of cars parked in the lot.
Let's not say the third row, Sam. That's where I'm parked right now. The high top is where you're supposed to be safe.
Well, I sure hope that didn't hit your car.
You know what? Let's hope not as well.
And there is a nasty slider catching the outside corner that we haven't really saw called all game yet.
This is what the Dolphins needed out of the bullpen from Santoriello. He could probably give them another inning or 2 maybe in this game if he continues to pitch the way he's pitching right now. As now the count goes full at 3-2. There is action, I will say, up in the CSI pen. But if they can get a couple more outs out of Santoriello, they can wait till maybe the 9th inning even to bring in that reliever. As Allen misses for ball 4 on the outside, and it's a 2-out walk for Medina.
You can see he tried to go back out there, maybe get another call, but the fastballs that we've seen on the outside corner just haven't been called tonight.
So Malachi Jones will now come up. It's a rare lefty-lefty matchup we see in this game. It'll be a tough at-bat here for Jones considering that angle we mentioned for Santoriello. He goes first pitch swinging, hits it towards Leno. He throws it onto first base in time, and that will retire the side. As the Bears strand a runner on first base here in the top of the 7th, we now head to the home 7th inning. The Dolphins lead this game 8-4.
That's a timeout on betting. It completely changed the game, and you didn't even notice. Let me break it down for you. Betting ads are applying full court pressure and getting you to play the game. Many of you are falling for it and losing big money. Addiction is happening in some more than others. Now players are getting harassed by bettors. And we all know that's not how the game is won. So it's on us to be good teammates and draw the line to stay ahead of betting consequences.
Jake Giovanone will lead it off here in the bottom of the 7th inning. A 8-4 lead still for the Dolphins as Matthew Real will stay on relief here in the home 7th. And will face Jake Giovanone to lead it off. Now this is for a ball 1-0.
We'll see if Giovanone likes this righty-lefty matchup.
Giovanone been very active in this game behind the plate and also at the plate, as I mentioned. The last time he came up, he's 1 for 2 tonight. Has also stolen 2 bases on the 2 times he's gotten on base. Love another chance here as the Dolphins looking to extend this lead. That one hit towards third. Anderson has it bobble off of him, and that will allow Giovanone to get the first base.
That should be an error, but it looked like it took a weird hop, and Anderson was lined up to get it and make the transfer, and then it kind of just bounced away from his glove.
And on that one as well, the shortstop was trying to make the backup play, and because it bounced off of Anderson, that allowed it to roll past him, and he was out of position for the play. And they do have it marked as an error on the board, so it is the 3rd error of the game for Bloomfield. And with Giovanone already stealing, twice in this game, has a chance to do it once again here. The Dolphins will have a pinch hitter up, and that is Nico Rodriguez. Going to pinch hit here for the Dolphins from TJ Leno. Rodriguez takes a big swing and a miss for a strike, and the count evens at 1.
Of course, you have to assume they're playing the matchup game here. Leno, a lefty. They probably don't like that against this lefty reliever, so they're going to bring in a righty.
You got to remember, Leno not in the game. Rodriguez.
That's what I'm saying.
You said Leno.
Yeah.
Leno's not in the game.
He's being pinch hit for.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood. I will say there is another lefty in the bullpen as well.
Rodriguez
has been one
pinch hitting for Leno, who was a lefty.
Yes. And you bring in the righty. Yes, that is true. I called my mistake. Not your mistake, my mistake. As Giovanone, for the 3rd time this game, Sam, has himself a stolen base.
Now that is a catcher that can run. You love to see it. When you start getting up in the leagues, you don't really see it as much because those legs, they start to give out when you're in the crouch position for so long. Giovanone injecting some life into this game.
So I call where I made the mistake. Now I understand what your point was originally. As Rodriguez hits that one down the first base line, it will just go foul.
It's all right. I forgive you.
Thank you. I don't know if Joe would have forgave me if I made that mistake. Might have taken a couple of innings for him to forgive me. It has been certainly been a game in this one here tonight. Not often as well do we get the lights here at the CSI Baseball Complex. You don't really have many night games here, but with the game initially scheduled for 3 p.m., it got moved back to 5 p.m. So the lights are on here at the baseball complex. That one dribbled down the third base line, but goes foul.
Looks like Rodriguez made up his mind to swing on that one a little too late. It was coming inside and made a last-second decision to just foul it off. I don't think it would have been called, but you never know.
Trying to protect the plate there. He keeps this at bat going, as you mentioned. Now 2-2. Giovanone still at second. And a big swing and a miss on that outside breaking ball. And there's now one away.
Just had him fooled there. Rodriguez started his swing too early. Couldn't bring it back.
Looked like a slider right there from Real. Gets the first out of the inning. And will bring up Anthony Cetera. Cetera tonight 0 for 2. Does have a run scored. He's down the count here 0-1.
And with that walk-up song, we'll see if Cetera can turn his swag on here, score the runner at second.
You know what, Sam? I'm glad you brought that up. I'm going to ask you a question in just a second. So we had a conversation on Sunday, Joe and I, about what our walk-up songs would be. What would your walk-up song be?
Okay, so I've always been more of a pitcher than a batter, so the only thing I've really thought about is what my
Your
walkout song
your
would
warm-up
be.
song, right?
As a closer, probably. I think I would go with Shepherd of Fire by Avenged Sevenfold.
Okay.
And kind of make that my thing, because I don't think anyone's done that one yet.
I don't think so either. That one hit towards third. Anderson will check the runner at second. He'll throw it on to first base in time, but there's now 2 away.
But yeah, I mean, there's just so many options for exactly what you want to listen to when you try and get in the zone to hit.
Right.
I might just not even have a song.
Now, being a student athlete yourself, do you have any songs that you get yourself warmed up in just a regular? Is it that or any other songs that you get yourself warmed up to?
I have too many songs, probably. If I check my main playlist that I use, it's probably got like 260 songs.
Wow. Okay.
See if I'll show it to you at the break and see what you think.
Okay. Michael Flasher comes up here with 2 gone in the inning. He's the lone Dolphin that's 3 for 3 on the night. Had a bunt single his last time up. Looking to go 4 for 4 perhaps on this at bat right here as the count evens at 1.
Flashner, of course, had the boot early in the game, and he has totally made up for it. He has been a great spark in this Dolphins lineup so far.
Both teams with 3 errors in this scheme, but they have made up for it at the plate as well as the count now goes to 1 and 2. As I mentioned, the Dolphins have scored in the last 4 innings as well after being shut out throughout the first 2. 2 in the third, 1 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and 3 in the sixth. Looking for another run here in the seventh. Count 1 and 2. There goes Giovanone, and he will get into third base safely. He has his 4th stolen base of the night.
This guy's incredible. I can't believe he plays catcher.
He is putting on a show tonight.
I could never do what he does.
Stealing 4 bases is stealing 2 bases in one game is something. Stealing 4 is something else.
And then you're a catcher.
Right.
It's incredible.
And have to put on the pads right after this inning is over. So that one is fouled by Flasher. The count remains 2 and 2. There's a second look at that last stolen base. Got another great jump. And I don't want to say it, but he kind of looked like towards the end he might have been getting a little bit gassed. He's probably been tired with the amount of running he's done in this game. But he still got in there safely ahead of the tag. The 2-2 is once again fouled and just missed, going over the batter's eye or the batter's box, however you want to call it, behind the plate. Let's just keep it away from the press box. As long as there's no windows open, we're fine.
I don't know if it's even going to be possible for it to happen.
Oh, there's been foul balls that have been hit into this press box a lot of times, but we don't have any windows open, so we'll be good.
It just looks like the angle from
the
backstop is too high.
You would think that you'd be okay. Not the case. Another 2-2 misses high for ball 3, and the count goes full at 3-2. You could even ask Joe Foreman. He knows exactly. He's been hit by a foul ball.
He just showed me how that happened.
Yeah. Still don't know how that happened, but it did happen. 3-2. Flashner hits that one towards short, and a great catch is made out at shortstop by the shortstop Klein, and that will retire the side. So the Dolphins do strand the runner on third base here in the 7th. We now head to the top of the 8th inning. The Dolphins lead this one 8-4.
NCAA athletes don't just compete, they make history. Representing our nation with pride and excellence, they bring home the hardware. Our college campuses serve as training grounds for the next generation of stars. Catch tomorrow's Olympians and Paralympians on the NCAA Championship stage today.
And we are back for the top of the 8th inning here. Jordan Pert will lead it off for Bloomfield as they still trail this game 8-4. And Michael Santoriello on for another inning of relief as he gets a first pitch strike, 0-1 the count.
Bloomfield in this game have a total of 6 hits so far, 4 runs. They're going to need a big rally if they want to come back in this game.
And the majority of those hits came against Gerard Santos, who got replaced after the second inning. The Dolphin bullpen has done a phenomenal job in this game, Sam.
Certainly, and we saw a little bit of a rocky start with some walks from Salmonese, but after that, it's been pretty impressive.
Santoriello's last pitch was fouled off by Pert. The count remains 0-2. He will face the bottom of this Bloomfield lineup here in the 8th inning. Pert, Anderson, and Klein, 7, 8, and 9. This count now goes to 1-2.
That was a nice rhyme there.
Wasn't even intentional. Was not even intentional. I honestly didn't pick it up until you said something. Someone's hit towards short. It will be played by the third baseman, Satera, and a nice strong throw to first base is in time, and there's now one away.
And it's another slider from Santoriello. Just gets him to roll over. Got another quick out.
The third baseman, number 7, Charles Anderson.
Charles Anderson comes to bat. The pitch count is correct. Santoriello has just thrown 29 pitches out of relief. You could make the case, Sam, if he has a clean inning here, they could make the case maybe to bring him back out for the 9th.
I don't see why not.
I don't know if they will, but they could make the case.
I would certainly make that case.
He has done a phenomenal job out of the bullpen.
His slider is just playing so well to the righties. Maybe it's backfiring a little bit for Bloomfield, trying to load up on righties against this lefty for the matchup.
And I mentioned it earlier. Santoriello's last time he pitched was just over 2 weeks ago, March 11th. And I was wondering if that was going to play a factor into him now coming into this game, but it has certainly not been any factor to him. He has been dealing for CSI in this game. And his 1-2 is in there for strike 3. Anderson is down looking, and there's now 2 away.
You have to think Anderson was looking slider there because he just watched the fastball go right down the middle.
Joseph Klein now comes up with 2 gone in the inning. He's had a nice night at the plate for this Bloomfield team. He is 2 for 3 with an RBI single. Sal misses for a ball. The count goes to 1-0. Bears now down to their final 4 outs in this game. As you mentioned, Sam, they really haven't had any offensive production since pretty much the 3rd inning, I would say.
Nope, the Dolphins have been locked down.
The 2-0. In there for a strike now, 2-1. If Klein isn't to extend the inning, it will bring us back to the top of the lineup for Bloomfield. With Maldonado on deck. He's got a chance to do so as he's now up in the count 3-1.
We're seeing Santoriello throw a couple wide ones, hopefully not signaling anything to come.
The 3-1. And it misses for ball 4. So it's a 2-out walk issued by Santoriello to the number 9 hitter Klein. And it's back to the top of the lineup for Eldo Maldonado.
Maldonado, as previously mentioned, currently the best hitter, average-wise, on this team. He already has a hit in this game.
Yeah, he started this game off with a double. Came around to score as well in that first inning, and he drills that one into center field, and it drops in front of Palomini, and that will go down as a base hit. So it's a 2-out single for Maldonado. We'll extend the inning for another batter here for the Bears, and it brings up Steven Jackson Jr.
Looks like Palomini was just a little bit too deep there. Normally, I think he would make that ranging play. He's got the speed.
And it's also not even an easier play for the runner Klein. It is 2 outs in the inning, but he almost got caught at second base going from first to second. He might have even lost how many outs there were in the inning because he wasn't going straight on initially.
Most likely.
That one drilled, fouled by Jackson Jr.
Oh, and that one did hit a car.
Well, hopefully no damage to that car.
I think it was a front bumper. I can't see anything.
As long as it's nothing but glass, I think that's all right. I think we've only had one instance like that. Hopefully that stays the same. The 0-1. And you could see it right there. He got fooled by that slider, and the count now goes to 0-2.
See if he throws it again. I don't see why not. It's just working so well to the righties.
The raised action going up in the Dolphin bullpen. If Jackson Jr. can't get on, he would bring the tying run to the plate. The 0-2. Runners are going, and it's strike 3 as Santoriello got him again on that slider, and that will retire the side. The Bears strand 2 runners here in the top of the 8th. We now head into the home 8th inning. The Dolphins lead this game 8-4.
Campuses nationwide, the NCAA is making transformative changes for student athletes. While they pursue their biggest dreams, we're launching new initiatives to help them. Life-changing education opportunities are just the start. The NCAA is providing enhanced mental health services. We're guaranteeing scholarships and tuition and expanding access to healthcare. Visit ncaa.org/change to learn more.
Jack Keel will lead it off here at the bottom of the 8th inning. Dolphins still lead this game 8-4. As George Wanaka is now the new pitcher for the Bears. And Sam, he will try to keep this a 4-run game to give his team a chance in the 9th inning to tie or take the lead.
Certainly anything can happen if he tries to hold this. Wanaka coming into this game with a 10.80 ERA in 5 appearances. He's pitched 5 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and 4 walks.
And a tough spot in the order he's going to be facing out of relief. He will face the top of the CSI lineup. As Jack Keel will take a first pitch. It looks like to be inside, and it was for a ball, 1-0 the count.
Either inside or high. It's another inside pitch. It's not getting called. Bloomfield's way.
On the outside, the count goes 2-0. Keogh on the night, 1 for 3 with a run scored. Tried to bunt his last time, but it popped up towards the pitcher. And he hits that one over the pitcher and towards the shortstop. The throw will be in time, and there's now one away. And it looked like Keogh maybe got a little bit of a slow run. I didn't see Sam. Did he stumble out of the batter's box?
I think Keogh thought that he fouled the ball off by the nature of the exit velocity. He clearly did not see it go over the pitcher's head. He was surprised.
Yeah, you could even see it on replay. We'll show it in a second. Very confusing play for him there as Palomini will take that one on the inside for a ball.
I'm not sure where he thought he might have fouled it to.
Yeah, you're right. I think he thought he fouled the ball off. He was looking behind the plate, and it was right in front of him. There have been some strange things that have happened in this game tonight. Very strange things. Palomini has a 1-1 count here. On the night, he is 2 for 3, had a 2-run triple. And he has to get out of the way.
I think he might have gotten hit getting out of the way on his right hand.
I don't think he did.
His right hand, it looked like...
He did not get hit. He somehow avoided that.
Well, it looked like he avoided it, but then
it might have hit the
ran
hand
into
for
it.
a second. Probably a good thing he didn't hit his hand.
Certainly. It's going to hurt a lot in this cold.
We already had an umpire get hit on the hand tonight. The count now goes to 3-1.
There's another outside pitch. Not getting the call.
The 3-1. And it misses low and skips in the dirt for ball 4. Palomini will run quickly to first and think about going towards second. But he will stay at first base as he's on with a 1-out walk.
Palomini, let's see if he can make some mayhem on the base paths.
AJ Vigliai comes up now with a runner on and one away. As I mentioned earlier on in our pregame coverage, the Dolphins after tonight will be back into conference play starting on Friday in Flushing as they take on Queens College. They then are back here at the baseball complex on Saturday for a doubleheader. As Vigliai takes a big swing and a miss for a strike, and the count goes to 0-1. Then they will finish that 4-game series against the Knights on Sunday back in Flushing. We mentioned it, Sam. The Dolphins really needed a win before that conference play started once again, and they are 3 outs away from doing so. As that one's hit into right, Pert will make the catch, and there's now 2 away.
That one was jammed, it looked like, and still carried a long way. It just shows you the power Bigliotti's got.
So bring up J.J. Hunter now with 2 gone in the inning. Hunter has had himself a big night for the Dolphins here. Hunter is 1 for 2, 4 RBIs. And this one, as I mentioned, started the 8-run rally for the Dolphins with that 2-run triple back in the third. His last 2 at-bats have been sacrifice flies. There goes Palomini towards second, and that will skip in the dirt, and he's in there safely.
Not even close, really. Throw was behind him, and he was already at second base by the time ball even touched the second baseman's glove.
So Hunter now has a chance for a 5th RBI in this game if he's able to get a base hit into the outfield. There goes Palomini again. He hits this one to left. It's a base hit for Hunter. He will have his 5th RBI. It's an RBI single for J.J. Hunter. He scores in Palomini, and the Dolphins lead this game 9-4.
Hunter, the freshman, he is playing hero this game. Without 5 RBIs, the game would be tied right now.
He has been the difference maker in this one for CSI as the Dolphins went for the hit and run. And you can make the case, Sam. It might have been over the head of the third baseman if it was normally played. But the Dolphins going for the hit and run in that spot, and it worked out perfectly. As Waterman hits that one towards Maldonado at second, he flips it to the shortstop Klein, and that will retire the side. The Dolphins do bring home a run here in the home 8th off the RBI single from J.J. Hunter. His 5 RBI night gives the Dolphins a 9-4 lead as we head to the top of the 9th inning.
Kettle Black on Staten Island, a top 5 wing joint in America by Food and Wine magazine. Serving daily lunch and dinner at the bar or on the floor. Perfect for family and group parties with top shelf drink and delicious food. From great times with good friends. Live sports and watch parties. To Staten Island's hottest nightlife. The Kettle Black features live music and DJs weekly. The Kettle Black features daily and nightly food and drink specials. The best Staten Island has to offer is at the Kettle Black. We'll see you there at the Kettle Black, located on 415 Forest Avenue, Staten Island.
Andres Frias will lead it off here in the top of the 9th as the Bears are down to their final 3 outs in this game. They now trail at 9-4 after that J.J. Hunter RBI single in that previous half inning.
And here is Santoriello coming back out for another inning of work. See if he can shut him down here.
We'll have to see, but I think it would be a save opportunity if he gets the job done. That one hit towards second. And Rodriguez will make the play. He'll throw it on to Vigliotti, and there is now one away.
He would certainly be very deserving of a save here after his stellar performance.
Now, you brought up a point during our break of what's the stolen base record in a game for a Dolphin. I'm trying to look at that number right now. Because Giovanone does have 4 stolen bases tonight in just one game alone. And keep in mind, he's done that out, not even being in the starting lineup in this game. For the Dolphins, too.
Yeah, that's very impressive.
We'll see if I can pull that number up before this game ends. There's a big swing and a miss for a strike 0-1 to count. It's a pinch hitter. It's Matthew Victoria. Getting the at-bat here for the Bears as he's now in a 1-1 count.
Victoria is hitting .083 on the season with 1 home run. As Santoriello continues to work very quickly.
The count now goes 2-2.
Blew that one by him. Let's see if the slider comes out, the signature Santoriello slider, as I'm calling it. That was a fastball.
So I'm in the single game record now. I'm looking for stolen bases. Let's see if I can find that number. And how about that? Santoriello is having himself a game tonight. Nice play on the mound. He throws it to first base in time, and the Dolphins are 1 out away from the victory.
As they would say in San Diego, you can hang a star on that one.
Do
Just
they
part
say
of
that?
They do.
I'm kidding.
They do.
If anyone would know, it would be you.
Of course. Beautiful sunny San Diego. Would be nice if it was a bit warmer right now.
I'm sure you're missing that weather right now, the way this night has gone.
Certainly.
It has been a chilly night here at the baseball complex, but the Dolphins are 1 out away from a big-time victory, considering they were trailing this game 4-0. 9 unanswered runs and some brilliant pitching out of the bullpen from Anthony Salmonese, and Michael Santoriello has now gotten them 1 strike away from their 7th win of the season here tonight as the count goes to 0-2. I think the only problem with having the pitch clock as well, it's really tough to find the stat number as well because it's so quick work that I'm trying to look up the number and I have no time to look it up. And that was on the outside for strike 3, and that will do it. A brilliant performance out of the bullpen for Michael Santoriello. He gets the final strikeout of this game, and the Dolphins pick up a 9-4 victory over Bloomfield.
Yeah, it was very impressive from Santoriello. We got to include Salmonese in there as well. Let's go to the stat line.
Salmonese was brilliant as well. You have to give him credit. He came in down 3-0 after the second, and the lone run that the Dolphins gave up in his time at pitching was via an error.
If this is correct, I believe it is, Salmonese and Santoriello both threw the exact same amount.
I know. I just looked at that as well.
54.
54 on the dot. Salmonese threw a 3 1/3, allowed the 1 run not earned, allowed 2 hits, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And Santoriello, as I mentioned, brilliant performance. He throws the exact same amount of pitches in 3 2/3, allows 1 hit, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts from Santoriello. The Dolphins bullpen with 11 strikeouts in this game. And not also to mention, but a big night at the plate from J.J. Hunter. His 5 RBI performance gives the Dolphins a much-needed win before going back into conference play this weekend.
And Bloomfield, they continue their losing streak as they're now 0-14 on the season. It was a must-win game for the Dolphins, and they got it done.
Well, we'll see what happens this upcoming weekend for CSI when they go into their matchups against Queens College. As I mentioned, the first game of that 4-game series starts on Friday in Flushing. First pitch is scheduled for 3 o'clock then. For us here at CSI Sportsnet, we will be back on Saturday for the doubleheader, games 2 and 3 of the 4-game series between the Dolphins and the Knights. First pitch for game 1 is at 12 o'clock. First pitch for game 2 scheduled for 3 o'clock. We'll see what those times will stay, as well as game 4 on Sunday back in Flushing for the final game of that 4-game series between the Dolphins and the Knights. But for Nicholas Pavona and for Sam Whalen and for all of us here on CSI Sportsnet, we thank you for tuning in to tonight's coverage of Dolphins baseball here on the ECC Network. Once again, the final score, the Dolphins 9, the Bears 4. We'll see you back here on Saturday when the Dolphins take on the Knights.